Chapter 1062. After the space was sealed by the black gas, Long Yu pretended to be at a loss of what to do. He looked like he was in a panic and directly spat out a mouthful of dragon breath of the 9 underworlds at the side. The dragon breath of the 9 underworlds was extremely powerful and contained an extremely terrifying energy. When it landed on the spatial cage formed by the black gas, it was actually unable to break it at all. How is this possible? Long Yu pretended to be panicking. The black scale beast guard approached Long Yu at an extremely fast speed. As a sneer fell into Long Yu's ears, a huge wave of black gas enveloped Long Yu. Death armor. Death aura. Long Yu used 2 defensive moves without hesitation. He wanted to use his death state body to resist for a while. You're dead, human. The green eyes of the black Qilin demon guard were filled with cruelty and bloodlust. It opened its mouth and spat out a mouthful of black divine characters at Long Yu. The 2 attacks were equivalent to Emperor Path skills. They were the Black Scale Beast clan's martial skills and divine abilities. At this moment, all the Black Scale deity guard's thoughts were focused on killing Long Yu. In his opinion, if he used both of his trump cards, a mere first-star Monarch Realm human cultivator wouldn't be able to resist him. He would definitely be able to kill Long Yu. However, he did not expect that this was a trap set up by Long Yu. You're the one who's dead. Long Yu's expression did not change in the face of his opponent's fierce attack. He was not worried that he could not withstand it at all. Suddenly, his lips curled up. At this moment, a terrifying void vortex appeared where the black scale beast guard was. A pitch-black dagger flashed through the void, bringing with it an extremely destructive void vortex. Void burial. The corner of Long Yu's mouth rose even higher. He had attracted all of the Black Qilin Guard's attention and attacks, but the Black Qilin Guard had never thought that he would be able to merge with a combat weapon to an unparalleled level. Without the need for Long Yu's control, the Nether Void Dragon Blade arrived in an instant. It activated its strongest technique, Void Burial, and created a void vortex where the Black Qilin Guard was. The terrifying power of the Void Divine characters began to intertwine and tear at the Black Qilin Guard. The enormous power was so great that even the Black Qilin Guard's powerful body couldn't withstand it. As the Void Burial came without any warning, the Black Qilin Beast Guard was unable to dodge at all. His entire body was sucked in, and he was instantly injured. And this was because the Black Qilin Beast Guard's body was strong. As a beast cultivator, the strength of his body was quite terrifying. Even Void Burial couldn't completely kill him with one move. However, the other party had already been entangled by the Void Burial. Would Long Yu give him a chance to escape? Hand of 9 Serenities! Long Yu yelled. A giant white bone arm appeared from the void and grabbed at the Black Qilin Guard. Endless power of the 9 Serenities' divine characters surged into the Black Qilin Guard's body from the white bone arm and began to corrode it. Previously, when he used the Void Slash, Long Yu had only injured the Black Qilin Guard's flesh. He didn't hit the vital part. But now, the 9 Serenities' divine characters had corroded his body and instantly spread to his monster core and meridians. Even though the Black Qilin Guard tried his best to resist, he couldn't stop the spread of the 9 Serenities' divine characters. Although he was the 3-star Emperor and his basic strength was several times stronger than Long Yu's, Long Yu had reached the 11th level of synchronization with the Shadow Attribute divine characters. This alone was enough to make up for the gap in basic strength between the Black Qilin Guard and the Black Qilin Guard. Being held tightly by the hand of 9 Serenities, the Black Qilin Guard fell into extreme pain. All his meridians and monster core were rapidly corroded by the 9 Serenities' divine characters. Although the Black Qilin Guard's body was strong and it was difficult for Long Yu to kill him, at this point, it was only a matter of time before he was killed. Friend Mountain Ghost, be careful that the Black Qilin Guard escapes. Like Qingfeng said from afar. He seemed to be surprised that Long Yu could suppress the 3-star Emperor Black Qilin Guard with the strength of a 1-star Emperor, so he was very shocked. However, at this moment, like Qingfeng also knew that the Black Qilin Guard would definitely try to escape, so he reminded him. Of course, Long Yu wouldn't give him a chance to escape. The Black Qilin Guard quickly put away the black space cage, which was enough to show that he was ready to escape. But at this moment, an ancient giant tower suddenly appeared from the void. It spun rapidly and crashed into the Black Qilin Guard's already extremely weak body. Dragon Bone Break. Long Yu manipulated the Dragon Bone Ancient Tower and made it crash into the Black Qilin Guard. The terrifying force instantly smashed the Black Qilin Guard, whose body was corroded and whose defense was weakened. A 3-star Emperor Black Qilin Guard died in the hands of Long Yu just like that. In fact, if the other party didn't want to kill Long Yu from the beginning and let Long Yu feel it, Long Yu would still consider participating in this massacre. However, since the other party wanted to kill Long Yu naturally wouldn't be lenient. Luckily, it's only a 3-star Emperor. If it was a 4-star Emperor, it wouldn't be so easy to deal with it. Although Long Yu killed a Black Qilin Guard, he was still extremely vigilant. This was because he knew very well that this 3-star Emperor Black Qilin Guard was definitely the weakest existence in the Black Qilin Demon Clan. I have to get rid of these Black Qilin Guards quickly and then go on my way, Long Yu thought to himself. He then looked around and realized that at this moment, everyone was actually paying attention to his direction, including like Breeze and Dream. No one expected Long Yu to be able to kill a Black Qilin Guard alone. This human kid was clearly only a 1-star Emperor Black Qilin Guard. How could he kill a Black Qilin Guard of the 3-star Emperor Black Qilin Guard so easily? One should know that although like Breeze and Dream, who were also 3-star Emperor Black Qilin Guard, could suppress the Black Qilin Guard, it wouldn't be so easy to kill it. After all, the Black Qilin Guard's body was too tough. When the remaining 4 Black Qilin Demon Guards saw Long Yu display his absolute strength and completely annihilate one of their companions, their hearts instantly trembled and they had the intention to retreat. Not to mention Long Yu, who had appeared out of nowhere. Even Qingfeng and Ruo Kai Meng could barely be held back by these Black Qilin Demon Guards. Now that this human kid had killed a Black Qilin Guard, if he joined the other battles, the entire battle would become one-sided. Trying to run? Long Yu sensed the intention of the remaining 4 Black Qilin Guard to escape and immediately activated the ancient Dragon Bone Tower. The absolute space field was immediately displayed and spread out in all directions. The space within 100 miles was instantly sealed by Long Yu's ancient Dragon Bone Tower. If they wanted to leave the absolute space field, they would have to destroy the ancient Dragon Bone Tower or exhaust all the power in the ancient Dragon Bone Tower. Either way, at this moment, it was already difficult for the remaining 4 Black Qilin Guard to do so. This was because Long Yu wasn't the only one here. Seeing this, Qingfeng laughed heartily and instantly revealed the true form of the White Feather Monster Clan. It was a giant bird with snow-white feathers, and its wings were 100 meters long when spread. It immediately pressed down the Black Scale Demon Clan lizards that were 30 meters long. The snow-white giant bird that seemed to have transformed into a breeze flapped its wings and formed 2 beams of holy light, which fell on the Black Scale Demon Clan lizard that was trying to escape. The purifying power of the holy light beam of holy light completely penetrated the body of the Black Qilin Guard. This degree of destructive power was combined with 3 of Long Yu's moves, which showed how terrifying it was. I used Void Burial, Hand of 9 Nether, and Dragon Bone Break in succession to finally smash the body of the Black Qilin Guard. But now, like Breeze, only used a beam of holy light to penetrate the body of the Black Qilin Guard. He is indeed an expert at the level of the 3-star Emperor. Long Yu was also shocked by this scene. Even his Dragon Breath of 9 Nether, the most powerful move, could not reach such power at this stage. Like Breeze did not use this move at the beginning, perhaps because although this move was powerful, It was difficult to hit and the opponent could easily dodge it. After all, the speed of the Black Chelan Guard was extremely fast. Even Long Yu could not keep up with the speed of the Black Chelan Guard, let alone like Breeze. But now, the Black Chelan Guard only wanted to escape. Like Breeze seized the opportunity and directly attacked. His body was completely penetrated, and his monster core was shattered. He was completely dead. On the other side, Ruo Kai Meng from the Golden Moon Demon tribe turned into a void goldfish at this moment. The dazzling golden fish scales were particularly eye-catching in the void goldfish. The power of golden divine text burst out from the fins of the void goldfish and formed golden sharp arrows. The arrows were like a downpour, shooting at the Black Chelan Guard that was trying to escape. Even though the Black Chelan Guard reacted and wanted to use his speed to dodge, there were too many golden arrows. His path was blocked by the absolute space field, and there was no way to escape. If not for Long Yu's absolute space field, the Black Chelan Guard's speed was extremely fast, and he could have escaped to a very far distance. But now, he was blocked by the absolute space field and became the target of the golden arrows. He was riddled with thousands of holes, and he could not be more dead. As such, the last two Black Chelan Guard fled in different directions. They had already touched the edge of the absolute space field, and they launched fierce attacks at the absolute space field. Long Yu felt a huge energy wave from the dragon skeleton ancient pagoda. It seemed that the other party's attack was very fierce. At this rate, the absolute space field would not last for 5 minutes. But under the current situation, it was a piece of cake to kill the two Black Chelan Guard in 5 minutes. Like Breeze cooperated with Ruo Kai Meng, and the two of them surrounded one of the Black Chelan Guard. The golden arrows and the divine text appeared again, and in less than a breath's time, the Black Chelan Guard was completely destroyed. Chapter 1063. At this point, the 5 black scale demon guards that Long Yu, Qing Feng, and the other demons had encountered were all killed in this ancient and desolate starry river. After destroying the corpses, the crowd gathered together again and ran away from the scene as fast as they could. While running, Qing Feng kept praising Long Yu. "Mountain Ghost, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You're just a 1-star Emperor, but you managed to kill a 3-star Emperor Black Chelan Beast Guard. Impressive." The girl from the Golden Moon Beast clan, Ruo Kai Meng, who seemed to have a problem with Long Yu, was speechless. However, her attitude towards Long Yu was still not very good. Long Yu could tell that this Ruo Kai Meng had feelings of adoration towards Yi Qingfeng. In fact, she even worshipped Yi Qingfeng. This caused Long Yu to feel somewhat puzzled. Could it be that the different races of the demon clan can also intermarry? Qing Feng is a white bird beast, and Ruo Kai Meng is a golden void goldfish. Different beasts. This Ruo Kai Meng likes Qing Feng, it seems strange. Long Yu thought to himself, then shook his head and stopped thinking about it. Long Yu only casually smiled in response to Qing Feng's praise. It's also because that Black Chelan Guard was too stupid. He didn't expect me to have an unparalleled battle weapon, allowing me to seize the initiative. Otherwise, the outcome of the battle would be hard to predict. Even so, it's still very powerful. Qing Feng said with an elegant smile, "You should know that it's extremely difficult to have a peerless battle weapon. Even I haven't been able to have a peerless battle weapon." "Oh right, Mountain Ghost, is that short-bladed battle weapon of yours an ancient supreme rank battle weapon?" Brother Qing Feng has a good eye. You can tell it with one look. Long Yu's eyes lit up. Qing Feng was able to tell the grade of the Nether Void Dragon Dagger with one look. He was definitely not an ordinary person. Although they were in outer space, they were quite far away from each other when they fought. This meant that Qing Feng had a very accurate understanding of the grades of combat weapons. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so sure about the grade of the Netherworld Dragon Dagger. For example, Qing Feng most likely possessed a very high status in the White Feather Monstrous clan. Otherwise, even if he had grown up in the outer world, it would have been very difficult for him to come into contact with a sufficient number of battle armaments and gain such accurate perception. Of course. Qing Feng did not hide anything. It seemed that because Long Yu had killed a black Qilin demon guard, he became more friendly to him and spoke more smoothly. Mountain Ghost friend, I'll tell you the truth. Don't be angry. In fact, Ruo Kai Meng and I didn't come here to search for treasures. We were forced here by the Black Qilin monstrous clan. Then, seemingly Cool Breeze explained everything to Long Yu. Long Yu listened quietly. He didn't dislike Qing Feng's concealment at the start. After all, it was their first time meeting each other. It was normal for them to be a little cautious. Moreover, Long Yu had already guessed that Qing Feng was concealing something. Even if Qing Feng didn't say it, Long Yu was pretty close to the truth. As it turned out, Qing Feng's true identity was a young master of the White Feather Monstrous clan. His grandfather was a sovereign realm expert of the White Feather Monstrous clan. As for Ruo Kai Meng of the Golden Moon Monstrous clan, her status wasn't as high. However, her status in the Golden Moon Monstrous clan was not low either. Her father was also a sovereign realm expert of the Golden Moon Monstrous clan. Qing Feng and Ruo Kai Meng had known each other since they were young. Ruo Kai Meng had always adored Qing Feng. When they went out to play together, the Black Qilin Monstrous clan happened to seize the opportunity and chase them all the way to this ancient ruin. At the same time, the people from the White Feather Monstrous clan and the Golden Moon Monstrous clan had also received the news and arrived at the ancient ruins. Due to the lack of spiritual energy in the ancient ruins, the people from the White Feather Monstrous clan were unable to sense seemingly Cool Breeze and Ruo Kai Meng's location. At that moment, the people from the Black Qilin Monstrous clan, the White Feather Monstrous clan, and the Golden Moon Monstrous clan were competing to see who could find seemingly Cool Breeze and Ruo Kai Meng first. If the people from the Black Qilin Monstrous clan arrived first, seemingly Cool Breeze and Ruo Kai Meng would definitely die miserably. However, if the people from the White Feather Monstrous clan and the Golden Moon Monstrous clan arrived first, they would be saved. Unfortunately, the ancient ruins was simply too deathly still. Otherwise, seemingly Cool Breeze would have already used his space-time imprint to return to the territory of the White Feather Monstrous clan. Long Yu did not know what a space-time imprint was. Seemingly Cool Breeze even explained to him that it was a tool used to travel long distances in the outer sky world. Without a space-time imprint, it would take a lot of time to travel across the ancient ruins. However, in the ancient ruins, seemingly Cool Breeze was unable to even sense the aura of the space-time imprint that he had made beforehand. From this, it could be seen how remote this place was. When seemingly Cool Breeze first saw Long Yu, he had only wanted to drag Long Yu down with him. That way, if he were to encounter the people from the Black Qilin Monstrous clan, he would be able to gain some strength. However, he never expected that Long Yu's strength would completely surpass his imagination. Brother Hillghost, I am truly sorry. I have used you. Seemingly Cool Breeze felt very guilty about it. It's all right. Actually, I understand. However, Long Yu waved his hand, indicating that he did not need to mind. Actually, if I did not kill the Black Qilin Monstrous clan here, you would not have confessed to me, right? But now, even if you confess to me, I can only continue to follow you. Otherwise, if I were to encounter the people from the Black Qilin Monstrous clan again, I would definitely die alone. Indeed, seemingly Cool Breeze was extremely embarrassed. Don't worry, Brother Cool Breeze. I don't mind. Long Yu smiled. Actually, even if I don't go with you, when the people from the Black Qilin Monstrous clan find me, I will still die. Now that I am with you, I am much safer. That was the truth. Long Yu did not hide his true thoughts. Just now, when the Black Qilin Monstrous clan saw Long Yu, killing intent immediately rose in the Black Qilin Monstrous clan's heart. Although he did not know why they were chasing after seemingly Cool Breeze and Ruo Kai Meng, if Long Yu had encountered the people from the Black Qilin Monstrous clan first, the situation would definitely be much more serious. If he had not left with seemingly cool breeze, the people from the Black Chelan monstrous clan would have probably found him very soon. At that time, Long Yu would have become a fish on the chopping board of the Black Chelan monstrous clan. It's great that Brother Hillghost can think that way. When seemingly cool breeze heard Long Yu's words, he immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Then, he smiled elegantly and said, "If we can successfully escape this time, Brother Hillghost, you must follow me to the White Feather monstrous clan. I will definitely thank you. As for now, we are really on the run and have nothing to offer." "You're welcome. Let's go first. Is there really no way for you to communicate with your own people?" Long Yu asked, changing the topic. "If we were in an ordinary place, of course there's a way. However, since there's no heaven and earth spiritual chi in the ancient ruins, there are many methods that can't be used. Naturally, there's no way to communicate with your people. Now we can only rely on our luck." Seemingly cool breeze sighed. "In other words, the other members of the Black Chelan clan won't be able to detect us even after we killed 5 Black Chelan guards," Long Yu thought to himself. Of course, the appearance of the Black Chelan guards definitely meant that the Black Chelan clan wasn't far away. If they were within a certain distance, Long Yu couldn't be sure that they hadn't notified the other members of the Black Chelan clan. According to seemingly cool breeze, the Black Chelan guards were one of the weaker combat units of the Black Chelan clan. This time, the Black Chelan clan was dispatched to kill seemingly cool breeze and Ruo Kai Meng, and there were several Sovereign Realm experts among them. If they were caught up to by the Black Chelan clan, only death would await them. Long Yu wasn't interested in the internal strife of the Black Chelan clan. Right now, he was more interested in returning to the Nine Nether clan. After all, that was the only place where he would be able to live in peace. Originally, Long Yu had wanted to study the Nine Nether prison steel. But now, it seemed like he wouldn't be able to do so until he reached a safe place. When Qing Feng told Long Yu the truth, the young woman from the Golden Moon Demon clan looked as if she was dreaming. She seemed to be very unhappy with Long Yu. It was as if she had an innate hostility towards humans. Long Yu didn't mind. With seemingly cool breeze around, Ruo Kai Meng wouldn't be able to do anything to him. The group sped through the ancient ruins, relying on seemingly cool breeze's space-type battle weapon. It was an unbounded grade battle weapon, which allowed them to travel at lightning speed. The spatial shuttle carried Long Yu and the rest of the group of 18 people. In the blink of an eye, they could travel tens of thousands of kilometers. As an unbounded grade battle weapon, it was possible for them to travel tens of thousands of kilometers, or even hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Every time they arrived at a place, they would stop for a moment to check their surroundings. They were on high alert, and if they found any traces of the Black Chelan clan, they would leave immediately. What they were most looking forward to the most were the experts of the White Feather clan and the Golden Moon clan. As long as they could meet up with them, they wouldn't have to worry about their safety. Unfortunately, after teleporting more than 10 times, they still couldn't find any auras of their own people. However, they did sense the aura of the Black Chelan clan, which prompted them to quickly retreat and teleport away. Soon, the group arrived near a dilapidated ancient ruin. This dilapidated ancient ruin was very vast, and it even contained the ruins of hundreds of planets. The entire ruin was built in the void and looked extremely magnificent. However, it had been completely destroyed many years ago, and emanated an ancient aura of history. This ruin seems to have a very strange architectural style, and the terrain is very complicated. Why don't we go in and hide for a while? Seemingly cool breeze suggested to Long Yu. Ruo Kai Meng was even more displeased. In the past, seemingly cool breeze would always ask her for advice, but now he was asking a human outsider. That's fine. I wonder if there's any danger in here. Long Yu frowned. Even if there is danger, it won't be as dangerous as the Black Chelan clan. Come on, let's go in. Chapter 1064. Long Yu did not have much of a choice. He could tell that the ancient ruins ahead had a complicated terrain, making it a great place to avoid being tracked. If they were to enter first, they could leave a mark along the way. If the people of the White Feather Monstrous Clan and the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan came, they would be able to find them. If the people of the Black Scale Monstrous Clan found them first, they would be able to hold them off until their own people arrived. With this in mind, Long Yu followed Qing Feng and the other demonic cultivators into the vast and boundless ancient ruins. He was quite shocked by the deathly stillness of the place. The ancient ruins were supposed to be extremely spectacular. The architectural style was extremely strange, like bones, forming palaces and buildings, emitting a sinister and evil aura. This Star River ancient site originally belonged to the Bone Race. However, the Bone Race was an evil and bloodthirsty race that had long been annihilated by the human race and the demon race. There shouldn't be anything in this ancient site now. If Kai Meng entered this ancient ruin, she would look somewhat anxious and fearful. If the Bone Tribe still exists, they would have been discovered by the humans and beasts long ago. How could they possibly have a chance to rise again? Sim Qing Feng shook his head with a smile. The other beasts of the White Feather Monstrous Clan and the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan also laughed. They all expressed that there shouldn't be anything strange in this place. It was impossible for the Bone Race to come here, and this Star River ancient ruin was the border between the human race and the monster race, so it was impossible for other races to come here. The main reason was that this ancient ruin was so silent, and it was unknown how long it had been maintained in this state, so it was unlikely for any life to exist here. Long Yu remained vigilant. After entering the ancient ruins, he sensed an oppressive aura, which made him feel very uncomfortable. It seemed that he had an innate ability to sense danger in advance. Among this group of people, he was the most vigilant. The Eye of Shadow appeared on Long Yu's forehead. Then, combined with the 7th level of the Balanced Control Secret Art, he sensed everything in the surrounding void. Within the range of Long Yu's perception, not a single trace could escape his perception. However, just like before, there wasn't a single living thing in the entire ancient ruins. Now, in the ancient ruins, only the group of 18 could move. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Long Yu frowned as he thought to himself. Seemingly Qing Feng led the way, leaving behind an aura that only members of the White Feather Monstrous Clan could sense. Ruo Kai Meng was right beside seemingly Qing Feng, leaving behind a special aura that only members of the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan could sense. This kind of aura marking was a special method they used to communicate with each other in the outside world. People of other races would not be able to detect it. This was a special talent of the Demon Clan cultivators. Every Demon Clan had a different aura. Only their own clansmen could sense it. It was because of this that they chose to enter this complex ancient ruin. As the group ventured deeper, an even grander side of the ancient ruins appeared in front of them. No matter where they went, there were bone-like buildings everywhere. Although they were all dilapidated buildings, they were extremely huge. Some were even as big as a planet. Their insides were broken and empty, forming an extremely complicated terrain. If one deliberately hid in one of these buildings, they would probably not be discovered for thousands of years. Long Yu used the Balanced Control Secret technique to probe his surroundings. He could sense everything around him. The complicated terrain did not pose much of an obstacle to him. There's still nothing. Can we rest assured now, seemingly Qing Feng said with a smile, after they had gone far into the ancient ruins. However, before he could finish speaking, something strange happened. Not far away from seemingly Qing Feng, a few eerie figures suddenly flashed out from a building ruin that looked like a rib. They hid in the pitch-black shadows and launched a sudden attack at seemingly Qing Feng. Watch out! Long Yu's face fell. He had been vigilant all this time, and this time was no exception. He was the first to react. As soon as he sensed the appearance of those sinister figures, Long Yu made his move. By the time the opponent's attack landed on like a breeze, Long Yu's defense had also arrived. Dragonblood Celestial Shield Tattoo. With a wave of his hand, Long Yu summoned his unbounded battle weapon, the Dragonblood Sacred Tattoo. A blood-colored shield appeared in front of seemingly Qingfeng. The eerie figures that had appeared out of nowhere were extremely bizarre. Their attacks were filled with the aura of death, but the Dragonblood Celestial Shield Tattoo still managed to block them. "It's coming!" Long Yu's eyes lit up. He could sense that the Dragonblood Sacred Tattoo's unbounded battle weapons characteristics had finally been unleashed. Although it was only twice the power, it was still something he had never seen before. The Dragonblood Heavenly Shield diagram, which had doubled its defense, could only barely block the attacks of the other party's sinister figures before it was completely destroyed by the deathly still aura of the attacks. So strong. Long Yu's face darkened. He could sense that the eerie figures' auras were only at the level of the 3-star Emperor, but the power they could unleash was much stronger than that of the Blackscale Yao Guard. Most importantly, Long Yu hadn't sensed any trace of the eerie figures before they made their move. This showed how terrifying their ability to conceal themselves was. They were even able to evade the detection of balanced control. Just how many of these eerie figures were there in the ancient ruins? Would there be terrifying existences on the level of the Sovereign's secret realm? Long Yu's reaction was the fastest. He blocked the attack and saved seemingly Qingfeng. Of course, seemingly Qingfeng reacted by transforming into a white bird. With a flicker of his body, he left behind a white vortex of holy light, then retreated back to where Long Yu and the others were. "Many thanks, Brother Hillghost." Qingfeng still had a lingering fear in his heart and was filled with gratitude towards Long Yu's help just now. "If not for Brother's help, I would have at least been seriously injured or even directly killed by the opponent. Let's talk about gratitude later. Let's deal with those guys first. You should know more. Do you know what they are?" Long Yu shook his head and looked ahead with a solemn expression. The eerie figures that had suddenly appeared were entangled by Qingfeng's holy light vortex for a moment. However, they quickly broke free, revealing a few extremely strange figures in front of everyone. They were creatures made entirely of bones. They had no hands, feet, or even heads. They looked more like the skeletons of some kind of beast. Their bodies exuded a desolate and eerie aura that made people feel an intense bloodthirsty killing intent. Long Yu had never seen such existences before. However, he had some guesses in his heart. Perhaps this was the rumored bone race that had been destroyed a long time ago. This is definitely the bone race. I've seen them in the clan's history books. I didn't expect the bone race to still exist after such a long time. Before seemingly Qingfeng could speak, one of the White Feather Clan's middle-aged demonic cultivators behind him suddenly said in a trembling voice, "It's really the bone race." Seemingly Qingfeng and the others were shocked. Among them, seemingly Qingfeng immediately asked the middle-aged demonic cultivator without any hesitation, "What else did you see in the history books? Tell us everything you know, quickly." The appearance of the bone race in this place meant that there might be traces of the bone race in the entire ancient ruins. They had definitely entered the depths of the ancient ruins and were already in an extremely dangerous situation. In the past, no one knew that the bone race still existed. It was definitely not because no one had ever come here and seen the bone race. It must be because those who came here and saw the bone race had all been killed. Therefore, seemingly Qingfeng was eager to know all the information about the bone race. Usually, he did not deliberately study the bone race. After all, it was a race that had been extinct for a long time. However, now that he had suddenly encountered the bone race, he had to know more. "I'll stall them while you talk." Long Yu's face also darkened as he said to the middle-aged demonic cultivator. He knew that the existence of the bone race was too strange. If he did not know their characteristics, it would be very easy for accidents to occur in battle. Divine Dragon Blood Diagram. Long Yu's eyes flickered and he continued to swing the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram, displaying the divine dragon blood diagram. In such an urgent situation, Long Yu had already shown some signs of compatibility with the dragon blood sacred diagram. At this moment, he had finally officially formed a connection with the dragon blood sacred diagram. Although it was only the most basic level of resonance, it had already greatly increased the probability of the dragon blood sacred diagram erupting with power many times over. This time, the divine dragon blood diagram erupted with twice the power. In an instant, the few eerie figures of the bone race were trapped in the dragon blood diagram. Endless chains wrapped around their bodies, temporarily immobilizing them. Let me think. That's right. According to the history books, the bone race is mainly divided into three groups. The first group is the most ordinary fighting group, known as the ordinary bone warriors. They have 103 bones in their bodies, and they can use these bones to communicate with the power of the divine runes and construct spirit arrays for battle. The other group is the royal family of the bone race. They have 460 bones in their bodies, and their battle strength is many times stronger than the ordinary bone warriors in the same realm. The middle-aged demonic cultivator quickly recalled the records he had read in the history book. After all, having cultivated to his current realm, his memory was still very good. The last group is the most terrifying royal family of the bone race. They have 3,600 bones in their bodies, and can construct very powerful spirit arrays. Their battle strength is many times stronger than the royal family of the bone race. As the middle-aged demonic cultivator spoke, Long Yu and the others subconsciously began to count the number of bones in their opponents' bodies. Chapter 1065. Long Yu and the others quickly counted and discovered that the 6 figures that had appeared were not ordinary bone doja with 103 bones, nor were they royal bone race clansmen with 460 bones. Of course, they could not be the royal bone race clansmen. The number of bones on each of the 6 bone race was different, but without exception, all of them had more than 103 bones, and the most had reached 120 bones. Such a situation was simply unheard of. Anyway, it had never been seen in the history books of the demon race. Trouble, the situation doesn't seem to be good. Like Qing Feng's face sank. I'm afraid that too much time has passed, and these bone race descendants have changed. It is no longer the bone race that the human race and the demon race work together to annihilate. Long Yu said in a deep voice, "No matter what, let's escape first. This is their territory, and if we delay here, it will definitely be disadvantageous for us." I think so too. Like Qing Feng nodded and said. Because they did not know how many more the other party was hiding, it was definitely not a rational approach to fight with the other party here. The best way was to escape first. Just the 6 bone race descendants in front of them were difficult for Long Yu and the others to deal with, because the other party had 4 3-star Emperor and 2 2-star Emperor, and their combined strength was much stronger than the previous 5 Black Qilin demon guards. However, just as like Qing Feng and the others turned around and wanted to escape, the 6 bone race descendants finally joined forces and broke Long Yu's dragon blood divine lock diagram. Then, not giving Long Yu and the others a chance to escape, the 6 bone race descendants rushed over from different directions and directly surrounded them. "We can't escape," Ruo Kai Meng cried out in a panic. Now in the ancient ruins, of course, they could not use the previous space shuttle. After all, it took time to activate the space shuttle, and in the ancient ruins, there was no void in front of them. No one knew if there would be other dangers in the place they appeared. Rather than face the possible unknown dangers, it was better to kill these bone race clansmen now. If we can't escape, then let's fight. Without thinking, Long Yu's eyes flashed with killing intent. He was the one who changed his mind the most decisively. The other Yao, including Passing Wind, had yet to react to the enemy's encirclement. Because the 6 bone race clansmen had spread out and surrounded them, if they ran and left their backs to the bone race clansmen, only death awaited them. But if they were to fight, it would give Long Yu a good opportunity. Because the 6 bone race clansmen had all scattered at this time. The one closest to Long Yu was a 3-star Emperor-level bone race descendant. Long Yu made this guy his target. The 118 bones in its body formed a strange shape, exuding a strange murderous aura as it charged towards Long Yu. Because Long Yu had just trapped 6 bone race clansmen, Long Yu became the enemy's first target. The enemy was very confident that only one of the 3-star emperors would be able to kill Long Yu. The enemy took the initiative and attacked Long Yu in the blink of an eye. The 118 bones in the bone race clansman's body suddenly changed shape at this time, instantly forming a rather mysterious and awe-inspiring spirit formation. Then, from the middle of this dense bone formation, a tyrannical shadow attribute divine rune power condensed into a beam of light, piercing through the void and exploding towards Long Yu. The bone race clansmen actually used their own bones to form a spirit formation to draw the power of the divine text. How strange! Long Yu thought to himself. He did not dare to be careless because he had never seen such a fighting method. It was different from the divine formations and divine chains used by the human race and Yao race. Fallen Dark Star. Relying on his balanced control, Long Yu quickly detected the weakness of the opponent's light beam. Then, he raised his hand and condensed countless fallen dark stars, smashing towards the light beam. Boom! 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 In the void, violent explosions continued to occur. Long Yu used the fallen dark star martial skill to successfully resist the opponent's shadow attribute light beam. But in the next moment, Long Yu felt that the skeleton of the bone race clansman had changed shape once more. There was a kind of shadow-like spirit divine rune energy that had invisibly affected Long Yu, causing him to feel drowsy. Fortunately, Long Yu had cultivated the martial arts secret technique of the 4th layer, the pure world body. The power of this martial arts secret technique was instantly activated, instantly clearing away the shadow attribute divine rune energy without a trace. Hand of the 9 Nether. Long Yu took advantage of the other party's slight surprise and immediately displayed his strongest control method, the Emperor Path Divine Ability Hand of the 9 Nether. A white bone arm stretched out from the void and directly grabbed the bone race clansman. Erosion. The power of the divine text of the 9 Nether eroded into the bones of the bone race clansman. However, Long Yu felt that the divine text of the 9 Nether had little effect on him. It seemed that the bone race clansman had a natural resistance to the shadow attribute divine text, making it difficult for Long Yu's hand of the 9 Nether to affect him. Hiss! The bone race clansman instantly made a hissing sound like a poisonous snake. All the bones in his body instantly gathered together, forming an extremely strong defensive array that blocked Long Yu's hand of the 9 Nether. Space-splitting strike. With a thought from Long Yu, the light blue Draconic sacred spring in his hands instantly condensed into 2 sharp blades and instantly appeared in the center of the bone race clansman's bones. The powerful cutting power of the space-splitting divine text instantly cut through 2 of the bone race clansman's bones, causing him to suffer some damage, but it was not serious. His bones are actually so strong. Long Yu was shocked. He immediately retracted the Draconic sacred spring and gathered it back in his hands. This was the most powerful aspect of the Draconic sacred spring. It could come and go without a trace, and could attack the opponent in an instant. However, the power of its attack seemed a little weak at this moment. Although the void-cleaving Holy Spring was an endless-grade battle weapon, Dragon Defense was a perfect match with space-type divine symbols, which meant it was only at the 6th level. Therefore, the power of the void-cleaving Holy Spring wasn't very strong. The reason he could kill his opponent in an instant before was because in the divine battle world, most cultivators didn't focus on cultivating their physical bodies. The space-splitting strike could attack the opponent's body, which was why it was so effective. I won't be able to kill this guy in a short time, Long Yu took advantage of the moment when the Hand of Nine Underworlds took control of the opponent to observe the situation around him. This time, he made an unexpected discovery. The Golden Moon Monstrous Race's monstrous cultivators were having a hard time dealing with the Bone Race clansmen, but the White Feather Monstrous Race's monstrous cultivators were different. Especially Qing Feng, who had gathered the power of the holy light divine text around his body and released a dazzling holy radiance. He was able to completely suppress a Bone Race clansman at the level of the 3-star Emperor. From the looks of it, he was having a much easier time dealing with the Bone Race clansman than Long Yu. The holy light divine text has a special effect on the Bone Race clansman. Long Yu noticed it immediately. At this time, he finally realized why Qing Feng's aura was so familiar. It was because the power of the divine text he was using was very similar to that of a person in the divine battle world, the Sage Emperor. The Saint Emperor rarely spoke, rarely met people, and rarely fought. But during this period of time, Long Yu had seen the Saint Emperor cultivate in the 9 Underworld Sky Stairway and the Parallel Enchantment. He had sensed the power of the divine characters she had comprehended. The power of the divine text was very similar to the one Qing Feng was controlling. Moreover, Long Yu also knew that the Sage Emperor's true form was a monstrous cultivator. He didn't know anything else, but the Sage Emperor's aura was very similar to Qing Feng's. The situation is not good. It seems it's time to call for help. Long Yu thought. He immediately activated the 9 Underworlds mark and used the unique spatial power of the 9 Underworlds realm to select the Sage Emperor and teleported her out. Whoosh! The Sage Emperor, who was wearing a white dress, suddenly appeared next to Long Yu. She was also a 3-star Emperor-level expert. She was a little surprised to be summoned by Long Yu. Senior Sage Emperor, the situation is a little complicated. In short, your power is the bane of the Bone Race clansmen. I'll leave the 3-star Emperor's Bone Race clansman to you. Be careful and kill him as soon as possible. Long Yu gave a simple order to the Sage Emperor. The Saint Emperor was the first person that Long Yu had brought out from the Shenwu world, so she was a little excited at this moment. After all, it was her first time coming to the Beyond Heaven world. She swept her gaze across the battlefield, roughly distinguishing between friend and foe, then nodded. Okay. The Sage Emperor didn't hesitate. She directly charged towards the 3-star Emperor's Bone Race clansman who was trapped by Long Yu's 9 Underworlds hand. Her body emitted a holy light and light attribute divine text gathered in her hands. At this moment, the remnant of the Bone Race had just broken through Long Yu's hand of the 9 Nether, and the bones in his body stretched out once again, forming an offensive formation. But he suddenly realized that his target had changed. It was no longer Long Yu, but a guy who had mastered light attribute divine text. The Bone Race clansman was a little shocked. He realized that the Sage Emperor had definitely appeared out of thin air. She was probably hidden in the inner world and had just been summoned. In the inner world, there was no heaven and earth spiritual chi and the power of creation. Cultivators couldn't cultivate. Normally, no one would hide people in the inner world. But the Bone Race clansman couldn't be bothered to think about this. He had to be extremely careful when facing the Sage Emperor. Light attribute divine text was very effective against her. Moreover, the Sage Emperor was also at the 3-star Emperor level. Her basic power was not inferior to his. In fact, it wasn't just the Bone Race clansman. Everyone else was also a little surprised. They didn't expect Long Yu to summon an expert who had mastered light attribute divine text. She could directly suppress the shadow attribute divine text of the Bone Race clansman. Chapter 1066. After Long Yu called out the Sacred Emperor, he was free to deal with the Sacred Emperor. Of course, he noticed how Qing Feng and the others were looking at him. He thought that the Sacred Emperor did indeed have a similar aura to the white feather beasts, but he didn't know who the Sacred Emperor was, and how he grew up in Shenwu world. Long Yu didn't think too much about it, because the situation was too tense. Qing Feng, I'll hold off the bone race member on your side. You go cooperate with the sacred emperor and kill the bone race member first. Long Yu flew to like Qingfeng's side, facing off against the bone race clansman that like Qing Feng had been suppressing. With Long Yu's current strength, it was difficult to kill his opponent, but it was more than enough to delay him. All right. Qing Feng had always wanted to get close to the sacred emperor, and seemed to be stunned by the sacred emperor. Hearing Long Yu's words, he immediately turned around and headed towards the sacred emperor. On the other side, the Golden Moon Girl, Kai Meng, was displeased when she saw how much Qing Feng cared about the sacred emperor. However, she couldn't say anything in the middle of a fierce battle. Just like Long Yu, the Golden Moon monstrous clan didn't have much ability to restrain the Bone Race's remnant clansmen. Therefore, if Kai Meng cooperated with the other two Golden Moon monstrous clans' 2-star monarchs, they would barely be able to resist a 3rd-star monarch of the Bone Race. Apart from Qing Feng, the other 4 white-feathered monstrous clansmen were each holding back a 3-star monstrous emperor and a 2-star monstrous emperor from the Bone Clan. The battle was also very intense. Although the white-feathered monstrous clan had an advantage in numbers, they were still at a disadvantage due to the fact that their opponent had a 3-star monstrous emperor. The last 2-star emperor was surrounded by the other Golden Moon monstrous beasts. Although they were able to hold it back, they couldn't kill it. Under such circumstances, Long Yu was able to fend off one of the 3-star emperor-level Bone Race clansmen by himself. Then, he had Qing Feng and Holy Emperor attack the other one together, hoping to finish off the opponent as quickly as possible. The Saint Emperor was naturally very experienced in battle, so she easily sensed Qing Feng's intention to attack Qing Feng from both sides. Therefore, she did not hesitate to transform into her original form. Her original form was a giant bird demon with white feathers, and her bloodline aura seemed to be much stronger and purer than Qing Feng's. Like a breeze, he also turned into a white bird. The two of them cooperated with each other. Holy light attribute divine characters surged out, forming 2 long rivers that trapped the 3-star emperor-level Bone Race clansman. The power of the holy divine characters began to purify him. Qing Feng or the Saint Emperor could easily suppress the Bone Race clansmen, not to mention the two of them working together. Of course, the Bone Race clansmen couldn't resist at all. He believed that Qing Feng and the Holy Emperor would be able to completely refine the Bone Race clansmen in a short period of time with the power of the Holy Light divine characters. During this period of time, Qing Feng and the Saint Emperor finally began to communicate. Both of them were very curious about the other. I heard Shan Gui address you as Senior Saint Emperor. May I know which branch of the White Feather Monstrous Clan Senior Saint Emperor are you from? The power of your bloodline is so pure. Qing Feng asked the Saint Emperor from afar. The Saint Emperor was a little confused. A branch of the White Feather Monstrous Clan? I've never heard of the White Feather Monstrous Clan. Am I actually a member of the White Feather Monstrous Clan? Long Yu was surprised by the Saint Emperor's words. It turned out that even the Saint Emperor didn't know what kind of beast cultivator he was. I woke up in the divine battle world of the realm of the 9 netherworlds. It seems that I was sealed for a very long time, but I can't remember the situation before I was sealed. Long Shan Gui happened to have the world seal of the realm of the 9 netherworlds, which was why he was able to bring me out, the Saint Emperor said with a slight frown. The Saint Emperor said with a slight frown. The more Qing Feng looked at his exquisite face, the more he liked it. The power of your bloodline is even purer than the royal family of the White Feather Monstrous Clan. You said that you were sealed in the realm of the 9 netherworld. Could it be that you're a member of the same clan from ancient times? Qing Feng guessed. I don't know. The Sage Emperor shook her head. Indeed, she did not know anything related to the White Feather Monstrous Clan. However, when she saw Qing Feng, the Sage Emperor felt as if there were some scattered memories in her mind that were gradually awakening. Perhaps, after a period of time, she would know why she was sealed in the netherworld realm. Hearing this, Long Yu was a little surprised. It turned out that the Saint Emperor didn't grow up in the divine battle world of the 9 netherworlds. She was sealed in the realm of the 9 netherworlds, and only woke up in recent years. The Saint Emperor had been the 5 emperors for more than 300 years. During this period of time, she had reached the level of 3-star emperor very early on. However, she was unable to break through to the level of 4-star emperor, and was taken away by someone from beyond the sky. Recently, when she was cultivating in the parallel world, and when she was cultivating in the 9 netherworld's heavenly stairs at a speed that was 10,000 times faster than normal, she was still unable to break through to the level of 4-star emperor. Not only her, the others were also very confused. Because of that, the Saint Emperor had been immersed in exploring herself. Even when Long Yu took away the Draconic sacred spring, the Saint Emperor didn't pay too much attention to it. She really wanted to know what secrets were hidden in her body. Now that she had met Qing Feng, she felt that she was one step closer to unraveling her secrets. If you want to know, you can follow me back to the White Feather Monstrous Clan's territory and undergo a bloodline test. Perhaps you might be able to find out where your bloodline originates from. Qing Feng invited the Saint Emperor. Qing Feng invited the Saint Emperor as eagerness filled his eyes. We'll talk about that later. The Saint Emperor shook her head. Although she was eager to find out her identity and bloodline, she was not in a hurry. She didn't know who Qing Feng was, so she trusted Long Yu more. She would only follow Long Yu. She wouldn't leave with others just for a moment's pleasure. The Saint Emperor didn't mind her refusal. After all, they had only just gotten to know each other. It was indeed difficult for her to trust him so quickly. While the Saint Emperor and Qing Feng were working together to refine the 3-star emperor's descendant, Long Yu was fighting against the other descendant. He was using the Hand of 9 Netherworlds, the divine formation of 9 abysses, the dragon blood sacred diagram, and many other methods to restrict the descendant, making it impossible for the descendant to break free. In such a situation, the Saint Emperor and Qing Feng were freed. Without any worries, they worked together and finally killed the descendant of the 3-star emperor's descendant. Under the illumination of the sacred light attributed divine characters, all the bones of the descendant were corroded. One by one, they were refined and turned into black smoke. Soon, the Bone Race clansman was completely annihilated by the 2 of them. It's about time. Let's help the others. Saint Emperor and Qing Feng looked at each other, then nodded at each other. Then, they headed straight for the battlefield where the other White Feather Monstrous clansmen were located. They were extremely fast, as they knew that every second counted. The reason why they didn't go to help Long Yu first was because Long Yu was still easily suppressing the descendant, while the other White Feather Monstrous clan members were almost at their limits. Even with the divine characters restraining them, it was still quite difficult for 4 2-star emperors to fight against a descendant of the 3-star emperor and a 2-star emperor's descendant. Damn it! However, at this moment, the Golden Moon Monstrous clan girl seemed to be very jealous that the Saint Emperor could be with Qing Feng. She left her own battlefield and wanted to go to Qing Feng's side. As soon as she left, the rest of the Golden Moon Demon clan's beast cultivators fell into a predicament. The 2 young Golden Moon Demon clan cultivators, who had followed her to resist the 3-star Monarch Realm Bone clan's remnant clan, were instantly suppressed by the other party. Over 100 bones were arranged in different arrays, activating different kinds of array power. Divine characters roared out, trying to kill the 2 young Golden Moon Monstrous clan cultivators. Ruo Kai Meng, what are you doing? Qing Feng was shocked by Ruo Kai Meng's action of moving the battlefield. He was a little annoyed. How could he allow her to throw a tantrum at a time like this? Qing Feng and the Saint Emperor were still very far away. It was impossible for them to support the 2 Golden Moon Monstrous clan cultivators. I want to be with you. Ruo Kai Meng looked stubborn. At the same time, she looked at the Saint Emperor provocatively. She continued to fly towards Qing Feng. If we work together, we'll definitely be much stronger than you and this woman. Don't make a fuss, okay? Qing Feng's face immediately darkened. He didn't care about Ruo Kai Meng at all. Instead, he looked at the two Golden Moon Monstrous Clan cultivators who were facing the powerful attack of the Bone Monstrous Clan cultivators anxiously. Although they were not from the White Feather Monstrous Clan, they were friends who had known each other for a long time. How could he just watch them be killed? Qing Feng couldn't help them, but he placed his hope on Long Yu, who was nearby. After all, Long Yu was closer to that place. However, he also knew that it was already not easy for Long Yu to block a 3-star Monarch Realm Bone Clan's Remnant Clan's 3rd-star Monarch Realm Bone Clan's 1st-star Monarch Realm strength. Furthermore, he still had to rescue the two young Golden Moon Monstrous Clan's demonic cultivators. The difficulty was simply too great. Even if Long Yu didn't save the two young Golden Moon Monstrous Clan cultivators, Qing Feng couldn't blame Long Yu. However, Long Yu had already taken action before Qing Feng noticed them. 5 9th Nether Hunters with 2 scimitars sneaked in from the dark. In an instant, they appeared next to the 3-star Emperor's descendant of the Bone Monstrous Clan. 5 real sabers, 5 heart sabers, 5 moves of the heart saber 3 slashes. A total of 15 layers of illusions trapped the 3-star Emperor's descendant of the Bone Monstrous Clan in the illusions. At the critical moment, Long Yu took precautions and summoned the 9th Nether Hunters. They made a great contribution and saved the two Golden Moon Monstrous Clan cultivators. When Qing Feng saw this, he finally heaved a sigh of relief. His gratitude towards Long Yu increased by another level. However, he was very angry with Ruo Kai Meng's current behavior. Ruo Kai Meng, hurry up and go back. Are you going to abandon your own people like this? Chapter 1067. Ruo Kai Meng became even more furious at seeming Qingfeng's stern rebuke. Big brother Qingfeng, you've never scolded me like this before. Am I really not comparable to this woman in your eyes? I saw that your eyes were glued to her the first time you saw her. Ruo Kai Meng seemed to have suffered a great injustice. Seeming Qingfeng was infuriated. How could he have any ulterior motives towards the Sage Emperor? It was all because of the aura of the white-feathered monstrous clan's bloodline. Ruo Kai Meng was insensible enough to throw a tantrum at a time like this. It was infuriating. The Sage Emperor, who was beside seeming Qingfeng, was completely unaware of what was going on. However, she could tell that the young woman from the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan had gone berserk out of jealousy because of her. She must be very fond of seeming Qingfeng. However, the Sage Emperor was rather displeased with Ruo Kai Meng for throwing a tantrum during such an intense battle. Of course, she would not say anything on the surface. After all, she did not know Ruo Kai Meng at all. Seeming Qingfeng was also infuriated by Ruo Kai Meng. When he finally managed to catch his breath, he had no choice but to persuade her, Kai Meng, don't overthink it. Hurry up and return. Don't abandon your clansmen. I'm only surprised by the aura of her white-feathered monstrous clan's bloodline. It's purer than mine. There's nothing else. Ruo Kai Meng calmed down slightly after hearing those words. She turned around to take a glance. If not for the sudden appearance of the 5-9 Nether Hunters, the two young Golden Moon Monstrous Clan monstrous cultivators would have been killed by the Bone Clan. The two of them were geniuses that were always around her. They were rather important figures in the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan. If they were to die here, it would be a great loss for the clan. Ruo Kai Meng would naturally not repent just like that. However, she knew that abandoning her clansmen would only make seeming Qingfeng hate her even more. As such, she glared at the Sage Emperor before turning around and returning. Seeming Qingfeng heaved a sigh of relief. Together with the Sage Emperor, he wanted to assist the 4 white-feathered monstrous cultivators. The scales of victory were already tipping in their favor. It was time for them to secure the final victory in one go. However, at that moment, something happened. Several other awe-inspiring silhouettes flew out from the wreckage of a rib-shaped building not far away and quickly headed towards the battlefield where the crowd was. Among those figures, one of them had an extremely powerful aura. "This is bad, that must be a bone race royal family, there are more than 500 rib bones in its body. Such a long time has really caused these bone race descendants to mutate." One of the white feather monstrous clan's monstrous cultivators immediately panicked. In an instant, his complexion turned deathly pale. His complexion was even paler than the white bird's wings. "This is bad. Let's go." When Qing Feng turned around to look, he was also scared out of his wit. He saw several bone race clansmen rushing towards him at an extremely fast speed. One of the bone race clansmen was huge, and his body was made up of 538 ribs. He was much stronger than the bone race royal family recorded in the history books. Although this huge figure was only at the level of a 5-star emperor, its real strength was probably at the level of a 7-star emperor. It was definitely not something that the people on the battlefield could resist. Of course, Long Yu also discovered the new reinforcements of the bone race. Not only that, he also found that there were figures of the bone race descendant emerging from the nearby ruins. They surrounded and attacked the people of the bone race. In just a moment, more than 100 bone race descendants had appeared, and all of them were at least at the level of a 2-star emperor. Even if there were 10 of such bone race descendants, Long Yu and Seeming Qingfeng would not be a match for them, let alone 100. Moreover, there was a bone race royal family existence among them, which had 538 ribs in its body. Its aura was extremely terrifying. Even if the overall strength of Long Yu and Seeming Qingfeng was doubled, they would not be a match for it. Of course, Long Yu now knew that he had definitely stepped into the lair of the bone race. The bone race has been annihilated by the human clan and the demon clan countless years ago. Now that they have appeared, it must be because they have always existed, but they have not been discovered. At this time, Long Yu's mind became extremely active. He thought that these bone race descendants must have appeared to kill all of them, so that they could obtain their cultivation resources. It should be known that there was not a bit of heaven and earth spiritual qi in the entire Star River ancient ruins. Although these bone race descendants could barely survive here, it was impossible for them to improve their martial arts realm. Therefore, if they wanted to improve their martial arts realm, they could only do what they were doing now. They could capture cultivators of the human clan or the demon clan that passed by unintentionally, and obtain some cultivation resources from them. This was also the reason why none of the bone race's experts were in the sovereign secret realm. Long Yu could feel a majestic aura from the bone race's royal family member with over 500 ribs. All the other bone race's experts were extremely respectful towards the royal family member of the bone race. A bone race royal family of the 5-star emperor realm is already a very powerful existence. In other words, the bone race descendants as a whole are very weak. Under such circumstances, what they are most afraid of is the news of their existence being exposed. "I'm afraid that the other party has already set up a trap for us to kill." Long Yu calmly analyzed all of this, and he knew that it was time for him to put his life on the line. However, before he could put his life on the line, the others could not resist anymore. The Golden Moon monstrous clans Ruo Kai Meng and the other Golden Moon monstrous clans beast cultivators fled into the distance at almost the same time. All of them turned into void goldfish and fled at an extremely fast speed. Before leaving, Ruo Kai Meng was still worried about Qing Feng. However, when she turned around, she saw Qing Feng and the Sage Emperor fleeing in another direction with the other white feather monstrous clan's beast cultivators. A look of hatred appeared in Ruo Kai Meng's eyes when she saw this. Even at a time like this, he doesn't care about me at all. Instead, he brought that woman. Ruo Kai Meng did not think that under such circumstances, even if she hesitated for a moment, She could be completely surrounded by the other party and fall into a trap of death. In such a situation, Qing Feng was simply too far away from her. How could Qing Feng possibly escape with her? That would simply be courting death. If everyone scattered and escaped, there might be a chance that they could survive. Qing Feng and the Sage Emperor met up with the other 4 White Feather Monstrous Clan's beast cultivators. Before leaving, the Sage Emperor took a glance at Long Yu. There was a look of reluctance in his eyes. However, given the current situation, he had no choice but to leave. The distance between them was simply too far. It was simply impossible for the Sage Emperor to reach Long Yu. Even if she were to forcibly meet up with Long Yu, she would still end up encountering a large group of Bone Clan survivors. Over 100, 200 to 300, or even over 1,000 Bone Clan survivors were rushing out from the skeletal buildings in the surroundings. They wanted to completely surround and kill the crowd. However, the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan and the White Feather Monstrous Clan reacted very quickly. They took advantage of the opportunity to escape from the densest encirclement and disappeared from Long Yu's sight. There was nothing Long Yu could do about the crowd fleeing in all directions. If they did not flee, he would likely be unable to do anything. It's about time. Long Yu narrowed his eyes. He discovered that the 5-star Emperor Realm Bone Clan's royal family did not chase after the others. Instead, he led dozens of 3-star Emperor Realm Mortal Bone soldiers to surround him. The aura of the small world on my body attracted them. There is too much heaven and earth spiritual chi in the small world. On top of that, the small world is in the hands of a 1-star emperor. If they don't become greedy, they would be too cowardly. Long Yu thought to himself. He swept a glance at the surrounding Bone Clan survivors. Surprisingly, he was calm and composed. There was not the slightest hint of fear on his face. Even if the other side had a sovereign secret realm expert, Long Yu did not need to be too afraid. After all, he was not fighting alone. He had a 9 nether realm with him. The Holy Emperor followed Qing Feng and the others from the White Feather Beast race to escape from the battlefield. She was still a little anxious. She was very worried about Long Yu's safety. From time to time, she would look back, but she would only see a large group of Bone Clan survivors surrounding them. She could not see Long Yu's figure at all. Senior Holy Emperor, don't worry. Mountain ghosts won't die so easily. If I'm not wrong, there should be many Emperor-level experts in the small world where you live and cultivate, the 9 nether realm, right? For example, Senior Holy Emperor, you are just one of them, right? Qing Feng asked after thinking for a while. This question could also remind the Holy Emperor that Long Yu was not fighting alone. It could also help him understand some things about the 9 nether realm. That's true. However, the strongest person in the 9 nether realm is only at the level of the 3-star Emperor. It is too difficult to resist the Bone Clan Royal. The Holy Emperor breathed a sigh of relief. However, when he thought of the tyrannical aura of the 5-star Emperor-level Bone Clan Royal, he still felt a little anxious. We should worry more about ourselves. Brother Mountain Ghost will definitely be fine. Qing Feng said calmly. We are not out of danger yet. We need to meet up with Ruo Kai Meng and the others as soon as possible. We need to break out of the encirclement of the Bone Clan. There were still many Bone Race clansmen surrounding them from all directions. If they were even half a beat slower, they would be surrounded by countless Bone Race clansmen. This was the world of the Bone Clan. Chapter 1068. Long Yu sighed in relief when he saw that most of the Bone Race had been lured away by the Golden Moon Goblin Clan and the White Feather Goblin Clan. Although he had the confidence to face off against the 5-star Emperor-level Bone Race Royal, if there were too many of them, it would be very troublesome to deal with them. Most of the surviving members of the Bone Race had fled in all directions. The only ones left to face Long Yu were the 5-star Monarch Bone Race Royal family, as well as dozens of ordinary Bone Warriors, all of whom were at the level of 3-star monarchs. Long Yu took advantage of this period of time to carefully size up the bone race's royal family. He counted a total of 538 bones in its body, and when they were grouped together, they exuded an extremely dense aura, causing people to feel fear. The 538 pitch-black bones formed the body of the bone race royal, which was several times larger than the other bone race members. This bone race royal didn't have a head, so naturally it didn't have eyes, ears, or mouth, so it was impossible for it to make any sound, much less speak. It seemed that under the command of the bone race's royal family, more than 43-star monarch-level mortal bone warriors rushed towards Long Yu. From the looks of it, they wanted to directly kill Long Yu. You must be eyeing the miniature world on me, but unfortunately, this miniature world isn't something that can be obtained by a race like you that has long been extinct. Long Yu calmly smiled, then raised his hand and activated the 9 nether mark in his body. With a wave of boundless world energy, he brought Lay Emperor, Flame Emperor, and Demon Emperor out from the 9 nether realm. Lay Emperor, Flame Emperor, and Demon Emperor were all old members of the 5 Emperors, the 5 Emperors. They all trusted Long Yu and were now 3-star Emperor-level combatants. Among the 5 Emperors, there was still Cloud Emperor, who had just been appointed as the 5-star Emperor. However, Shenwu World still needed a combatant, so Cloud Emperor couldn't leave and Long Yu couldn't summon all of the 5 Emperors. Lay Emperor, Flame Emperor, Demon Emperor, Seniors, I've already told you the current situation, so fight as much as you want. Demon Emperor, you must be careful, these Bone Race Royal are very resistant to Shadow Divine characters. Long Yu summoned the 3 Emperors, so they naturally knew what was going on. It was different from the Sacred Emperor. When the Sacred Emperor came out, Long Yu did not inform her in advance. But now, before Long Yu called out the 3 Emperors, he had already informed them of the situation. They were mentally prepared. It's been a very, very long time since the 3 Emperors fought to their heart's content against a decent opponent, so they didn't want to miss out on a chance like this. The reason why Long Yu summoned the 3 Emperors was obviously not to rely on them to fight against the 40 to 50 mortal bone doja, because that was simply impossible. At the same realm, 3 against 40, even the Flame Emperor and the other 2 wouldn't be able to do that. The 3 Emperors came out to give them a chance to train and improve their true combat skills. And Long Yu's true trump card was right behind them. Xiao Wu, Shu Chan, Dugui Jian, come out. Long Yu immediately activated the 9 nether mark to notify Shi Yengu, Shu Chan, and Dugui Jian beforehand and brought them out from the 9 nether realm. Accompanying the 3 of them were the ancient palaces they controlled. The ancient Death Palace, the ancient Azura Palace, and the ancient Yellow Springs Palace. 3 ancient palaces appeared, exuding an ancient aura. As soon as the 3 of them appeared, they used the 3 ancient palaces to form a 9 nether soaring dragon formation. Tyrannical energy surged from the 3 ancient palaces, forming a formation. The 9 nether soaring dragon formation was formed with absolute power, and with absolute power, it formed a defensive barrier that enveloped Long Yu and the others. Other than the 3 mortal bone doja that Long Yu had deliberately let in, the other members of the bone race, including the bone race's royal family member, were all isolated outside the 9 nether soaring dragon formation. Although it was only an incomplete 9 nether soaring dragon formation, its defensive strength was incomparably terrifying. Even existences in the sovereign secret realm couldn't break through it in a short period of time. The 3 ancient palaces appeared at the same time, forming an incomplete defensive formation that blocked all the members of the bone race and remnant race outside. The Flame Emperor, Lay Emperor, and the Demon Emperor began to fight to their heart's content with their opponents. The 3 Emperors were very proficient in controlling their strength, but because the mortal bone doja's fighting style was too strange, they couldn't go all out in the beginning. But as the battle continued, the 3 Emperors gradually found the feeling, and they began to suppress their opponents. Among them, Only the Demon Emperor was having a hard time, because the Demon Emperor had comprehended the darkness attribute divine runes, and using them to deal with the bone race and remnant race was half the result with twice the effort. Long Yu didn't pay attention to the battle of the three emperors, because he believed that the three emperors wouldn't disappoint him. This was just a small tempering experience. Long Yu's gaze was completely focused on the huge body of the royal bone race. He noticed that when the 9 nether-soaring dragon spirit array was formed, isolating the royal bone race from the outside, the royal bone race took out a hexagonal bone from his bone space. That bone seemed to contain some kind of extremely strong power. After preparing for a period of time, the royal family member finally activated the power of the hexagonal bone. From the hexagonal bone, a cold light shot out, enveloping the royal family member. Immediately after, the royal family member of the bone race actually ignored the 9 nether-soaring dragon formation's barrier, directly passing through the formation, and entered the formation. At this time, all the mortal bone doges surrounding members of the bone race and remnant race seemed to be excited, as if they were cheering. From their point of view, once the royal family member stepped into the formation, they could easily kill Long Yu, and obtain the small world on his body. Then, they could kill the 3 guys who formed the formation, destroy the entire defensive formation, and let the other members of the bone race and remnant race enter, killing them all together. What kind of method is that? Long Yu's heart trembled. With the hexagonal bone, the royal family member of the bone race actually passed through the 9 nether-soaring dragon formation without any hindrance, and did not destroy it. That hexagonal bone must be an extremely special existence, probably a special type of battle weapon that the royal family member of the bone race possessed. Long Yu relied on his balanced control, and felt that the hexagonal bone had a kind of aura similar to the Earth God race and Ice God race's holy artifact. For the time being, this hexagonal bone could be regarded as the bone race's holy artifact. Since he came in, I have no choice but to fight. Long Yu's face became solemn. In the 9 nether realm, there was no one who could fight against a 5-star emperor, and it was extremely difficult for Long Yu to resist the royal family member. Fortunately, he had the 9 nether realm. As long as he could think of a way to drag the royal family member into the 9 nether realm, not to mention a 5-star emperor, even if it was a sovereign secret realm existence, Long Yu could use his world force to crush them. How to drag the royal family member into the 9 nether realm was a very big problem. After all, no one would be stupid enough to fight in the other's small world, so. Several crisp sounds pierced through the air, and Long Yu felt that the royal family member of the bone race had unexpectedly launched a sneak attack, condensing 3 shadow-attributed sharp blades of divine runes, and attacking him from 3 directions. Bullying the weak, and even launching a sneak attack, this royal family member of the bone race also seems to believe that the winner takes all, completely unreasonable. With a thought, Long Yu's body surged with death divine runes, completely entangling his body. This was the Death Chi entanglement, able to reduce the power of the opponent's attack by half. The defensive effect was quite good. Next, he urged the Death Divine runes, condensing a death armor, covering his body from head to toe. Dragon Blood Red Armor Diagram. Long Yu took out the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram, activating one of the Dragon Blood Red Armor diagrams, and a layer of red armor immediately covered the surface of Long Yu's body. Moreover, Long Yu and the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram had reached the stage of resonance. Activating the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram increased the probability of his power erupting by a lot, and this time, his defense also doubled. 3 methods, 3 layers of defense. The opponent's 3 shadowy divine inscriptions pierced through the air and pierced into the death aura that was entangling him. The dense yin chi that was attached to the blades actually completely dispersed the death aura that was entangling him. Next, the 3 shadow-attributed sharp blades stabbed into the Dragon Blood Red Armor diagram, paused for a moment, then broke through the dragon blood-red armor diagram, and finally pierced through the death chi entanglement. Pooh! 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 Even with 3 layers of defense, Long Yu was unable to completely block the other party's sneak attack. Fortunately, the 3 layers of defense had already weakened the other party's attack to less than 1/10 of its power. Long Yu relied on the Death Realm's tyrannical body to forcibly block the 3 shadow-attributed sharp blades, and sent them flying. The Royal Bone Race did not give Long Yu any time to react. Just as Long Yu blocked the other party's sneak attack, a new round of attacks descended. More than 400 of the bones in the Bone Race's royal family began to move, forming a terrifying and strange array. From the void, a shadow scythe was summoned. This shadow scythe was held in the hands of the Bone Race's royal family. Then, it slashed towards Long Yu. As the shadow scythe slashed, it actually contained the power of mind control, which could intimidate the opponent in advance and pull them into the shadow illusion. Then, it could directly slash the opponent, at least severely injuring them. Unfortunately, the power of this mind control didn't have much of an effect on Long Yu. The 4th layer of the worldly cleansing body was able to stop it. Long Yu easily retreated, avoiding the other party's shadow scythe slash, and at the same time, took out an upper Yuan Huan pill from his bosom. This kind of battle is too difficult. I didn't want to waste it, but now it seems that I can only advance to 2-star Emperor first. Long Yu's face darkened, and then he swallowed the upper Yuan Huan pill. Previously, when he broke through to 1-star Emperor, Long Yu had taken an upper Yuan Huan pill. As for the remaining 4, he planned to use them after comprehending the 9 Underworld Prison Tablet and cultivating the 3rd secret martial arts technique of Jiryo Dragon Emperor. Chapter 1069. Long Yu had obtained a total of 5 upper vitality elixirs. He had already taken the first one and broken through to the 1-star Emperor level. Now that he had taken the second one, its effect was halved. However, because Long Yu had been cultivating in the parallel barrier and the highest level of the 9 Underworld Sky Stairway for 3 months, he was not far from the 2-star Emperor level. After taking the second upper vitality elixir, the Heaven and Earth Spirit Chi and the power of creation exploded. The power of the Endless Grade elixir was revealed. Although this was the second upper vitality elixir that Long Yu had taken, the power this time was twice as strong. Therefore, overall, it was not much better than the first upper vitality elixir. As the majestic Heaven and Earth Spirit Chi and the power of creation flowed into Long Yu's body, the second divine ability fruit in his dantian, the Soul Seal Siphon, began to absorb the power of creation. In a very short time, it transformed into an Emperor Path Mystique. 2-star Emperor done. Long Yu had been cultivating for the past 3 months to prepare for the 2-star Emperor level. Now that he had taken the upper vitality elixir, it was almost natural for him to break through. He did not waste any time. Now, the Royal Bone Race also realized that using the Shadow Scythe to deal with Long Yu would not work. Because Long Yu had the pure world body, he was not affected by the mental illusion. Therefore, the Royal Bone Race changed his method. He used the power of the divine characters to activate the hexagonal bone in his hand. Suddenly, 6 streams of chi flowed out of the hexagonal bone and extended toward Long Yu. These 6 streams of energy were all different. Each of them contained 6 different kinds of divine character energy. Although they were all shadow-type divine characters, their actual effects were different. It was at this time that Long Yu successfully stepped into the 2-star Emperor level. These 6 streams of ghastly airflow are slightly similar to my divine formation, 9 Abyss. Let's see if your ghastly airflow is stronger, or if a grade 3 divine formation is stronger. Long Yu raised his hand, causing 9th Hell divine markings to swiftly condense in his hand, and then he executed the 9 Abyss divine formation. 9 pitch-black rifts appeared in space, and then they stretched out and surged towards the 6 ghastly torrents of energy. One of the black cracks of the 9 Abyss Divine Formation dealt with one of the streams of air. The remaining 3 black cracks spread towards the royal family of the Bone Race and attacked them. But what made Long Yu surprised was that the power of his divine array, 9 Abysses, was actually somewhat inferior to the other party's 6 awe-inspiring streams of air. As expected of a 5-star Emperor-level Bone Race royal family, Long Yu's face darkened. He remembered what a beast cultivator from the White Feather Beastkin clan had said before. The strength of the royal family of the Bone Race was much stronger than that of an ordinary Bone Doge. A 5-star Emperor-level Bone Race royal family of the Bone Race royal family could almost be compared to a 7-star Emperor-level Bone Race royal family. The 6 streams of air released by the hexagonal skeleton of the royal family of the Bone Race directly suppressed Long Yu's 9 Abyss Divine Formation, and then completely broke it. Then 3 of the streams of air directly returned to the position of the royal family of the Bone Race, and easily blocked the other 3 black cracks of the 9 Abyss Divine Formation. This was the first time that Long Yu had encountered a situation where his 9 Abyss Divine Formation could be so easily blocked. As expected of the royal family of the Bone Race, there were still 3 streams of dense chi that continued to sweep towards Long Yu, blocking off all his possible escape routes. There was no way for him to dodge at all. At the same time, the more than 500 skeletons of the Bone Race's royal kin started to move, forming an even more terrifying array formation. Unexpectedly, countless black meteors were summoned from the void. These black meteors all had an extremely terrifying corrosive effect, and they rained down on Long Yu's location. Up, down, forward, left, right. Long Yu was surrounded by countless black meteors in all directions. If he was hit by these black meteors, only death awaited Long Yu. It seems that if I don't use my trump card, I will really die here today. Previously, Long Yu just wanted to test his current strength, but now it seemed that he was still far from being able to deal with the royal family of the Bone Race royal family of the 5-star Emperor level. With his own strength, it was impossible for him to defeat such an existence. Bone-bearing dragon field, come out. At this time, Long Yu had no choice but to use the innate mystique that belonged to the Geo Dragon Emperor. Now that Long Yu had mastered 80% of the 9 Nether Mark, he was equivalent to the master of the 9 Nether Realm, so he could naturally use the innate mystique of the Geo Dragon Emperor. However, he had never thought of using it, because the 9 Nether Realm was too unstable, and using the innate mystique might lead to some unpredictable consequences. However, facing the terrifying innate mystique of the royal family of the Bone Race, he couldn't care less. The aura of the bone-bearing dragon field instantly bloomed from Long Yu's body, and a burst of Revelation Level 9 Nether Divine characters surged out from the 9 Nether Mark. This was a power that did not belong to Long Yu, so it was difficult for him to control it perfectly. Endless 9 Nether Divine characters burst out from his body, directly creating a bone-bearing dragon field beside him, shrouding him and the royal family of the Bone Race. Bone dragons condense. Long Yu activated the 9 Nether Mark, and in the bone-bearing dragon field, countless 9 Nether Divine characters condensed into powerful bone dragons, one after another. Each of these bone dragons was at least a 5-star Emperor or a 6-star Emperor. As soon as the bone dragons appeared, they directly spat out beams of death aura, completely destroying the pitch-black meteors that were attacking from all directions. Not a single one of the meteors could get close to Long Yu. At the same time, many bone dragons directly spat out beams of death aura in the direction of the royal family of the Bone Race. This kind of attack had previously wiped out an entire Team Regal. As it turned out, this royal family of the Bone Race was far more powerful than an entire Team Regal. Facing the bombardment of so many bone dragons' death aura, the royal family of the Bone Race only needed to activate the hexagonal bone in his hand and condense a layer of dense pitch-black barrier to block all the death aura. The bone-bearing dragon field was filled with a dense aura, and countless bone dragons were constantly being born. What it consumed was the power of the Nine Nether Realm itself, and had nothing to do with Long Yu's martial arts realm. Because of this was the most powerful technique that Long Yu could use at the moment. However, as the bone-burying dragon field appeared next to Long Yu, the power of the bone-burying dragon field's divine ability fruit was quickly being consumed, causing the power of the 7 forbidden zones in the Nine Nether Realm to become slightly unbalanced. This would undoubtedly speed up the collapse of the Nine Nether Realm, causing the people of Shen Wu world to have a shorter time to cultivate, which was definitely not a good thing for Long Yu. Seems like this technique is very powerful, but I can't use it too often, otherwise the Nine Nether Realm will soon collapse. Long Yu felt a bit regretful. He didn't know what happened during the battle between the Lushan clan and the Jiyo clan, but if it wasn't for that accident, the Nine Nether Realm would definitely still be intact. If that was the case, Long Yu would be able to use the Jiyo Dragon Emperor's innate thaumaturgy, and his fighting strength would definitely be far superior to normal Emperor cultivators. As the bone-burying dragon field appeared, countless bone dragons were born. They spat out one death aura after another, destroying all of the pitch-black meteors in the sky, resolving the crisis that Long Yu was facing. At the same time, they also used the death aura to force the royal family of the bone race to use their defensive technique, stalling for time. Hunters of the Nine Nether, come out! In the blink of an eye, Long Yu created Hunters of the Nine Nether one after another, draining a large amount of energy from his body. Very quickly, he was close to being exhausted, but Long Yu didn't stop there. Instead, he directly exploded a siphon totem. The Soul Seal siphon had already become an Emperor thaumaturgy. Now that it exploded, the surging spirit energy contained within immediately replenished all of Long Yu's consumed energy. A total of 10 Hunters of the Nine Nether, each wielding a scimitar, charged towards the royal family of the bone race. None of them used a real blade, but instead raised their heart blade and performed the heart blade triple slash at almost the same time. Because Long Yu knew that the Real blades of the Nine Nether Hunters posed no threat to the royal family of the bone race. Even the 3-star Emperor's mortal bone fighter had bones that were hard to break, let alone this royal family of the bone race. But the heart blade was able to affect him. The 10 Nine Nether Hunters performed the heart blade triple slash a total of 10 times. The power of 30 layers of illusions directly enveloped the royal family of the bone race. Come in. Long Yu tried to activate the Nine Nether mark, wanting to get close to the royal family of the bone race and drag him into the Nine Nether realm. But the royal family of the bone race had long sensed the danger and instantly broke out of the 30 layers of illusions. More than 500 bones in his body instantly formed a special array. A dense aura surged out from it and roared towards Long Yu like a wave, accompanied by an extremely tyrannical corrosive power. Awe-inspiring waves swept over. Even though the countless bone dragons continued to spew out death aura light pillars, they were unable to completely block it. In the end, a portion of the awe-inspiring aura arrived in front of Long Yu, wanting to envelop him within and completely kill him. Siphon Totem. The Emperor Path Mystique, Soul Seal Siphon, was performed by Long Yu. A siphon totem appeared beside him and formed a huge suction whirlpool. It actually absorbed a portion of the dense aura that swept over. In the bone-burying dragon field, the death aura light pillars of the bone dragons never stopped. But the royal family of the bone race was able to easily launch a counterattack against Long Yu. It was clear that the strength of the royal family of the bone race was extremely terrifying. If it wasn't Long Yu, but anyone else in their camp, they would have long been dead by now. Long Yu relied on the bone-burying dragon ground and the Emperor's Path Divine technique to resist the attacks of the waves of the opponent's terrifying aura. When he sensed that more and more of the power of the divine technique fruits in the bone-burying dragon ground was being consumed in the netherworld realm, he knew that he couldn't drag this on any longer. Origin Power 9 Nether Deterrence. Long Yu released the aura of the 9 nether divine characters all over his body. With the origin power of the 9 nether dragon, he activated the deterrence power. Chapter 1070. Long Yu was very surprised. He did not expect the 9 serenities deterrence to have such an effect on the royal family of the bone race. In that case, let me try to drag you into the 9 serenities world first. With a thought, Long Yu activated the 9 serenities mark in his dantian. Then, he spread the power of the 9 serenities world towards the royal family of the bone race. However, Long Yu still underestimated the means of the royal family of the bone race. Just as the royal family of the bone race was deterred by Long Yu, the hexagonal bone on his body suddenly emitted an eerie light. That eerie light completely dispersed the power of the 9 serenities deterrence. The power of the 9 serenities world enveloped the royal family of the bone race. However, the royal family of the bone race raised his hand and formed a strange array with all his bones. It emitted a ring of eerie shock wave and dispersed all the power of the world. As expected, it still doesn't work. Then, let me try this. Seeing this, Long Yu immediately knew that the 9 serenities deterrence method was not enough. He could only use the last thing he had prepared. He activated the 9 serenities mark and took out an extremely mysterious thing from the 9 serenities world. This thing, even consort, you did not know what it was. It was the 9 serenities prison tablet. When Long Yu had mastered 80% of the 9 serenities mark, he found that he could finally move the 9 serenities prison tablet and move it in the 9 serenities world. Now that he tried it, he found that he could really take the 9 serenities prison tablet out of the 9 serenities world. Smash it. Of course, Long Yu did not know how to use the 9 serenities prison tablet. He could only move the 9 serenities prison tablet and smash it towards the royal family of the bone race. When the 9 serenities prison tablet appeared, all the bone race, Lei Emperor, Emperor Yen, Demon Emperor, and Shu Chan looked over and were shocked by the endless aura of the 9 serenities prison tablet. Even the royal member of the bone race, who seemed to be very calm all this while, seemed to be a little flustered at this moment. His whole body quickly formed a strange array, and a dense dark air current enveloped the entire body of the royal member of the bone race. Then, he fled the area at an extremely fast speed. Unfortunately, even though the royal family of the bone race was faster than all the ordinary bone warriors and was many times faster than Long Yu and the others, they still could not escape the pursuit of the 9 Hell Prison Tablet. The 9 Hells Prison Tablet seemed to ignore space itself. No matter where the royal bone race clansmen appeared, the 9 Hells Prison Tablet would quickly shorten the distance between them. After a breath of time, the 9 Hell Prison Tablet smashed into the body of the royal bone race. The terrifying pressure shattered more than 100 bones in the royal bone race's body. Not only that, but the peerless power of the 9 Hell Divine characters completely suppressed the royal bone race on the spot. This was the source of the 9 underworld's intimidation. Long Yu was surprised by the tyrannical strength of the 9 Hell Prison Tablet, but he did not waste any time. Finally, he took advantage of this opportunity to use the world power of the 9 Netherworld to drag the royal bone race into the 9 Netherworld. As such, Long Yu truly heaved a sigh of relief. He could see that the appearance of the 9 Hell Prison Tablet had a terrifying suppressive force on the royal bone race. In fact, the royal bone race even wanted to escape. If Long Yu could freely use the 9 Hell Prison Tablet, he definitely would not be afraid of any opponent below the Sovereign Secret Realm. Unfortunately, he could only rely on the world power of the 9 Netherworld to throw the 9 Hell Prison Tablet. The 9 Hell Prison Tablet smashed the royal bone race into a daze. Then, Long Yu decisively dragged the royal bone race into the 9 Netherworld. Nothing unexpected would happen next. Long Yu also returned to the 9 Nether Realm. He used the power of the world that was hundreds or even thousands of times stronger than before to support the 9 Nether Hand. With the 9 nether hand, he directly crushed the royal bone race member. In the 9 nether realm, the royal family of the bone race at the level of a 5-star monarch was nothing at all. The remaining 400 or so bones in his body tried to form a defensive formation, but they were unable to withstand the corrosion of the 9 nether divine characters, which had been strengthened by hundreds of times the world's power, and instantly exploded. In the entire void of the 9 nether world, only the hexagonal bone in the hands of the royal bone race was left. It seemed to be a sacred artifact of the bone race. Long Yu did not touch it. He only kept it in a corner of the 9 nether world where no one could touch it. Then, Long Yu left the 9 nether world and returned to the beyond heavens world. At this moment, the hundreds of ordinary bone warriors outside saw the royal bone race being dragged into the small world by Long Yu. They immediately understood that their leader was finished. Almost without any hesitation, the hundreds of ordinary bone warriors scattered in all directions. Just as they suddenly appeared, they suddenly disappeared. Long Yu could clearly see that these bone race clansmen had all come out from some of the skeletal buildings in the nearby ruins. They weren't hiding in the buildings, but there were actually many small worlds on the skeletons of the buildings. Those small worlds were probably left behind by the bone race's sovereign's secret realm experts a long, long time ago. Since the human race and the monster race hadn't cleared them out, the bone race's descendants in those small worlds were able to flourish. After an unknown number of years, the remnant clan of the bone race had finally developed to a point where their strength surpassed that of the 9 nether realm. Unfortunately, when the royal clan of the bone race appeared and wanted to seize Long Yu's 9 nether realm, they were instead killed by Long Yu. "We can't stay here for long. I'm afraid that the number of bone race members is far beyond our imagination. We have to leave as soon as possible." After Long Yu finished off the royal bone race member, he put away the 9 nether prison steel and said to the people around him. The Thunder Emperor, Flame Emperor, and Demon Emperor nodded and finally unleashed their killer moves. The terrifying power of the divine runes descended on their mortal bone doge or opponents, shattering over 100 bones in their bodies into pieces. Then, Shi Yengu, Shu Chan and Duguijian also put away the 3 ancient palaces and came to Long Yu's side. "When you came out, did Yen Huan Mo get the inheritance of the Hell Messenger?" Long Yu asked Shi Yengu. "Almost. She has already obtained the Hell Ancient Palace. Now she only needs to understand the power of the Hell Divine characters. But with enough Divine Character crystals, she will be able to completely master the Hell Divine characters in a few days." Shi Yengu nodded and answered. When Long Yu was cultivating, he used the powerful senses of the 9 nether mark to find the place where the Hell Messenger was buried in Shen Wu world and told Yen Huan Mo about it. Yen Huan Mo was already very compatible with the Shadow Divine characters, so it was very suitable for her to obtain the inheritance of the Hell Messenger. Now that Yen Huan Mo had obtained the Hell Ancient Palace, as long as she fully understood the Hell Divine characters, she would be able to activate the Hell Ancient Palace and form the 9 nether soaring dragon formation with the other 3 ancient palaces. That way, everyone's safety would be greatly guaranteed. After Long Yu killed the royal member of the bone race, the entire area became silent. Only the few of them were left standing there. "Let's go find the Saint Emperor and the others." Long Yu followed the direction that the Saint Emperor and Yi Qingfeng escaped to. As for the Golden Moon Beast race on the other side, Long Yu couldn't be bothered to care about them. He had seen the ridiculous behavior of the Golden Moon Beast race girl, Ruo Kai. If it wasn't for his help, the 2 young Golden Moon Beast race cultivators would already be dead. What Long Yu didn't know was that the Golden Moon Beast race's Ruo Kai Meng was leading the other 11 Golden Moon Beast race cultivators towards the outer perimeter of the ancient ruins. They were almost caught by the mortal bone cultivators. However, at that moment, a terrifying force erupted from the front. It was accompanied by a boundless demonic aura that suddenly blasted towards the ancient ruins. This destructive force was almost unstoppable. It definitely came from an existence above the ruler's secret realm. It's the Black Qilin beast race. A young demonic cultivator from the Golden Moon demonic clan was greatly shocked, but before he could react, the destructive force had already engulfed him and completely annihilated him. This power was not targeted at the Golden Moon monstrous tribe. Instead, it was targeted at all the living beings in the area, including the large group of mortal bone doja. None of them were able to dodge it and were annihilated by the monstrous destructive power of the demon Qi. In the entire area, only one person survived, and that was Ruo Kai Meng of the Golden Moon beast race. On Ruo Kai Meng's neck, a pendant flickered with a dazzling golden radiance, forming a layer of golden light shield that blocked the destructive power outside, saving the young girl from death. However, the other Golden Moon beasts beside her all died without a trace. Ruo Kai Meng was stunned on the spot. She didn't expect things to turn out this way. It wasn't until a group of experts from the Black Scale beast race surrounded her that she finally reacted. She quickly shouted, "Don't kill me, don't kill me, I know the whereabouts of Shao Qinfeng, I can tell you. Kiki, I didn't expect to meet little sister Ruo Kai Meng here." A middle-aged Black Scale beast race cultivator walked out from the formation. The middle-aged Black Scale beast race cultivator's aura was filled with monstrous demonic aura and destructive aura. It was obvious that the terrifying force was released by him. He flew to Ruo Kai Meng's side. He was wearing black armor, and his face was engraved with strange black runes. Ruo Kai Meng's panicked expression was reflected in his evil eyes. "Are you really willing to tell us the whereabouts of your brother Qinfeng? You should know that if we find him, we'll definitely kill him," the middle-aged Black Scale beast race cultivator said indifferently. When Ruo Kai Meng heard this, she curled up, clearly rather afraid. However, when she thought about how Qinfeng had escaped with the Saint Emperor without taking her with him, she could not help but feel jealous. Since she was caught by the Black Scale beast race, she would die if she didn't obey. Under the threat of death and jealousy, she nodded decisively. "I've made a fate contract with Shao Qinfeng. We can sense each other's location," Ruo Kai Meng said indifferently. "I'll bring you there, but you must let me leave safely. I won't reveal any information about you. Deal?" Chapter 1071. Long Yu continued to advance through the ancient ruins with the three emperors, Shi Yengu, and the others in tow. The bone race experts they encountered along the way disappeared at an unimaginable speed, as though they were fleeing. Moreover, after they disappeared, Long Yu and the others couldn't find where they went. Although Long Yu guessed that the bone race experts were hiding in a small world, who knew where the small world entrances were? Half of the small world entrances emitted an aura, but the bone race experts had used certain methods to conceal the aura of the small world entrances, making it difficult for others to find them. How many small worlds were there in such a vast ancient ruins? How many bone race experts were there? No one knew. However, Long Yu guessed that there weren't many bone race experts. Otherwise, the bone race experts wouldn't have retreated after he killed a bone race royal family expert. Long Yu naturally didn't know that there was another reason why the bone race experts ran away, and that was because the Black Qilin beast race expert had appeared and killed several hundred bone race experts in a single move. For the current bone race experts, there was nothing they could do about a sovereign secret realm expert. With the appearance of the Black Qilin beast race expert, the bone race experts could only hide as fast as possible. Long Yu didn't know any of this. He continued to chase after Saint Emperor and like Qinfeng. Before long, he saw 6 figures surrounded by mortal bone fighters in the ruins of a skeletal building. They were in the middle of a fierce battle. However, when Long Yu and the others arrived, the mortal bone doja had already fled the scene, not daring to continue fighting. In an instant they had completely hidden themselves within the vast ancient ruins, with no one able to find their figures. Like Qinfeng and the Holy Emperor, They were completely suppressed in the battle. They thought that they were dead for sure. After all, they were surrounded by dozens of bone race experts, and it was difficult for them to break through. They didn't expect that the bone race experts would suddenly scatter like birds and beasts. While they were puzzled, they saw Long Yu and the others appear not far away, rushing over. This shocked seemingly Qingfeng. "Brother Mountain Ghost, you actually escaped from the encirclement. Amazing, amazing! Did the royal family of the bone race escape?" Seemingly Qingfeng hurriedly led the others to welcome them. The two sides finally reunited, and everyone felt much safer. "I didn't escape. That bone race royal family member was killed by me." Long Yu smiled, and said, "Do you have any news of your white feather beast race elders?" "Not yet, but Ruo Kaimeng and I have a fate contract. We are connected by our hearts, and we can sense each other's location." Like the breeze shook his head and said, "Let's go meet up with her first. I wonder if she's alright. Let's go and meet with her first. I don't know if she's fine." When the sage emperor heard this, he asked curiously, "Could it be that you and Ruo Kaimeng of the Golden Moon Demon clan were already engaged, and that's why the contract was established?" Qingfeng said, "Bone Qingfeng and said, Luo, Ro race experts, elder, were. I hearing this, seemingly Qingfeng felt a bit helpless. That girl has always been throwing a tantrum. I didn't think she'd go too far today. What a joke. I believe that after this experience she will be more obedient." She was in a good mood. Even though she had been separated from Long Yu for a while, she could sense the aura of her clan from seemingly Qingfeng. This was something she had never felt in her several hundred years of existence. It made her feel excited. After all, sacred emperors had always felt extremely lonely in Shen Wu world. She had asked the combatants of the Lushan clan, but they all said that they didn't know what kind of beast race she was, nor had they seen any beast cultivators like her. Now that she thought about it, the Lushan clan must have lied to her. Because if they told her the truth, she might leave the Nine Serenities realm to find the White Feather Beast clan. How could she stay in Shen Wu world, become the leader of the alliance of 5 emperors, and become a tool of the Lushan clan? Thinking about it this way, Sacred Emperor didn't have a good impression of the Lushan clan. "Let's hope so. Let's go, it's in that direction." Seemingly Qingfeng led everyone towards a certain direction in the ancient ruins. At the same time, he said in disbelief, "Brother Mountain Ghost, it seems your strength is beyond our expectations. You were even able to kill that royal bone race member. It's all thanks to the help of my brothers. If it was just me, I would have already died at the hands of the bone race." Long Yu smiled. He didn't want to expose too much about himself. With Lei Emperor, Flame Emperor, and Demon Emperor, as well as Shi Yengu and the others, he would at least have an excuse. However, as the group continued to move forward, Long Yu began to feel uneasy, causing him to become extremely cautious. If anything unexpected were to happen, he would be able to react immediately. The group continued to move forward, but suddenly, they seemed to have encountered a spatial barrier, blocking their path. As far as the eye could see, the void was still the void, and the ancient ruins were still the ancient ruins. However, it was as if there was a transparent barrier that separated them from the spatial zone in front of them. Not good. Long Yu's expression changed slightly. He knew that this situation was definitely an ambush set up for them. Seemingly Qingfeng's expression also changed when he sensed the spatial barrier. "We're surrounded, quickly escape in another direction." However, before he could finish his sentence, a loud laugh suddenly came from the surrounding void. "Ha ha ha, seemingly Qingfeng, you've made us wait." A burst of laughter filled with deviltry rang out, causing seemingly Qingfeng's expression to change drastically. "It's the Black Qilin race, a sovereign secret realm expert, Imperial Demon San. He's the one who brought people to chase after us." Seemingly Qingfeng gritted his teeth and looked around. In a single glance, he saw a group of black Qilin race demonic cultivators surrounding them. There were at least 100 powerful demonic cultivators, and there were a few sovereign secret realm experts among them. The one leading the group was a middle-aged demonic cultivator clad in black armor. His face was covered in strange black runes, and one could feel the devil chi from his body. This was the sovereign secret realm expert of the black Qilin race, Imperial Demon San. Long Yu didn't know why Imperial Demon San was leading the black Qilin race to chase after seemingly Qingfeng. However, he knew that he had to stand on the same side as seemingly Qingfeng. Judging from the devil chi and killing intent that Imperial Demon San was emitting, there was no way he would let him go. Not to mention, release Ruo Kai Meng. With a single glance, Qingfeng saw a beautiful figure standing beside Juezhen. It was the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan's Ruo Kai Meng. As for the others from the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan, they were probably killed by the Black Scale Monstrous Clan. Haha, little brat, you're still thinking about her? Imperial Demon San grinned. It was this lass who pointed out your location to us. That's why we were able to set up an ambush for you. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been easy to catch you. After all, you have a lot of treasures from the white-feathered demonic race. Kai Meng? Seemingly Qingfeng's expression changed. He looked at Ruo Kai Meng, and when he saw the guilt in her eyes, he immediately understood everything. However, at this moment, Ruo Kai Meng felt guilty, and when she saw the sage emperor standing beside Qingfeng, her expression immediately became somewhat indignant. Big brother Qingfeng, I had no choice. If I didn't tell them where you were, they would have killed me. Anyway, Big brother Qingfeng has been bewitched by that demonic woman, and he's no longer the big brother Qingfeng I knew. Shut up. Qingfeng's face immediately darkened. He really didn't expect that Kai Meng would reveal his whereabouts to the Black Scale Demon Clan, even though she was usually joking and throwing a tantrum. In fact, even if Ruo Kai Meng didn't tell him, he would have taken the initiative to find her. They would have met sooner or later, but the situation would have been different. Just as Umo Ju had said, if it wasn't for Umo Ju and the others setting up a spatial barrier in advance, Qingfeng would have had a way to escape from the other party's pursuit. But now the other party had the time to set up a trap in advance, sealing off all his methods. Some of the powerful White Feather Monstrous Clan's battle beasts were capable of escaping, but they were unable to use their escape abilities when the surrounding space was sealed. Ruo Kai Meng was stopped by Like Qingfeng's shout, but she was not angry. Instead, she coldly turned her head and said to Absolute 3, You said that as long as you found Like Qingfeng, you would let me go, right? I did say something like that. Unfortunately, I regret it now. TSK. A cruel smile appeared on Umo Juzin's face. Look, you and brother Qingfeng hate you so much right now. I feel that it's better to kill you for him, so that he won't be able to rest in peace. You should know, I really admire this brat Qingfeng. Hearing Absolute Demon San's words, Ruo Kai Meng's face instantly turned pale. You lied to me. Didn't you say you'll let me go? Ruo Kai Meng was exasperated. Gather? Huh? Pray? Tailor words to bake? Arrogant? Absolute Demon San's voice was filled with cruelty. Monstrous demonic aura burst out, forming a demonic claw that directly grabbed Ruo Kai Meng. Ruo Kai Meng was unable to resist at all. She was directly grabbed by Absolute Demon San's demonic claw. Then, she was corroded by the demonic aura and turned into ashes. Seeing Ruo Kai Meng being killed by Absolute Demon San, Long Yu, seemingly Qingfeng, and the others felt a chill run down their spines. Although Ruo Kai Meng had betrayed seemingly Qingfeng had never thought of letting Ruo Kai Meng die like that. But now Ruo Kai Meng was dead. The little girl that had been jumping around behind him was actually dead. Prepare to escape. In the battlefield, Long Yu maintained his calm. He knew that with the appearance of the ruler's secret realm, they had no chance of winning. The only way to preserve their lives was to escape. How are we going to escape? This space has been sealed by the other party. This place is a trap. Chapter 1072. Calm down. Qingfeng couldn't stand the middle-aged demonic cultivator's hysteria any longer. In fact, he had already expected such a situation. However, he had missed out on one point, and that was that he would take the initiative to run into the enemy's encirclement. Under such circumstances, it was impossible for him to escape. Qingfeng, you ate our black Qilin demonic beast race's holy fruit. Did you think that this day would come? Even if you become shockingly talented from now on, we can't let you live and enjoy your shocking talent. Umo Juzhen, the leader of the black Qilin demonic beast race, said indifferently. He looked at Qingfeng with disdain and ridicule. Geniuses need time to grow. After eating our black Qilin demonic beast race's holy fruit, how much time do you want to grow? Another black Qilin demonic beast race's sovereign secret realm expert sneered. It's about time. There's no point in talking to a dead man. We've chased him for so long. It's time to kill him. After settling the matters here, we can rest for a while. The black Qilin demonic beast race's sovereign secret realm expert had already made his move. He didn't care that someone had appeared beside Qingfeng. Qingfeng and the other four from the white-feathered demonic beast race fell into despair. Under the current circumstances, it was impossible for them to escape. But right at this time, Long Yu suddenly stood in front of them and laughed calmly. I say, friends from the black Qilin demonic beast race, are you guys looking down on me by acting so brazenly? Long Yu laughed and swept his gaze across the black Qilin demonic beast race's sovereign secret realm expert. There wasn't a single trace of fear in his eyes. Long Yu's actions not only shocked Qingfeng and the others, but also caused the black Qilin demonic beast race's sovereign secret realm experts to frown. Who are you? A human running into an ancient ruin? Even if you have an extraordinary identity, who will know if you die? Umo Juzhen snorted coldly. He didn't make a move immediately. He was still a little worried. Anyway, he felt that Long Yu wasn't a threat. He was just a two-star emperor. If there was a force behind him, it would not be too late to make corresponding countermeasures after he said it. In any case, Qingfeng and the others were like turtles in a jar. It was impossible for them to escape. I can't be bothered to waste my breath on you. Long Yu acted like a boss and said coldly, if I die, the powerful figures of the Jiuyou tribe and the Lushan clan will know immediately. The Jiuyou tribe and the Lushan clan will become enemies with the Black Scale Demon tribe. Earlier, Long Yu had heard like Qingfeng mention that their white feather monstrous clan was actually not very powerful. In fact, they only occupied 1/20th of a starry river. In that demonic galaxy there were over 20 demonic clans. They were equivalent to human clans. In other words, the White Feather Monstrous Clan, the Golden Moon Monstrous Clan, and the Black Scale Demon Tribe were equivalent to clans like the Hidden Sword Tribe, the Heavenly First Tribe, and the Symbol Clan. Therefore, Long Yu directly brought out the names of the Jiuyou clan and Lushan clan. The effect he wanted wasn't to make the other party believe him or fear him, but to buy some time and divert the other party's attention. The people of the Black Scale Demon Tribe were stunned when they heard Long Yu's word. The Jiuyou tribe and the Lushan clan? These two clans were not small clans in the human race. Their overall strength was obviously dozens of times stronger than the Black Scale Demon Tribe. Let's not talk about whether this kid is really related to the Jiuyou tribe and the Lushan clan. Even if what he said is true, would the Jiuyou tribe and the Lushan clan dare to come to the demonic beast territory and cause trouble for our Black Scale Demon Tribe? One of the Black Scale Demon Tribe's sovereign secret realm cultivators said in a low voice. Even if they dare to come, they will be facing the great experts of our demonic beast race. Our great experts will definitely not sit idly by if they want to cause trouble for our Black Scale Demon Tribe. The other sovereign's secret realm cultivator nodded his head. Kid, did you hear that? You're using the Jiyo tribe and the Lushan clan to scare us. You're really making a fool of yourself. Umo Juzan sneered at Long Yu. Is that so? Long Yu smiled faintly. He didn't care about what the other party said. He continued, the Jiyo tribe and the Lushan clan will naturally not invade your black scale demon tribe. However, they will definitely send out experts to kill my people. Senior Consort Yu, Senior Xiaji, the Ghost Shadow tribe, etc. They will let you know what it means to have your life hanging by a thread. Initially, the other party didn't believe him. However, as Long Yu reported the names of these people, Umo Juzan and the others' faces changed. It was already a coincidence that a kid from the human race who appeared in the ancient ruins knew about the Jiyo tribe and the Lushan clan. Now, he even mentioned the two great experts of the human race, Consort Yu and Xiaji. These two were outstanding existences in the human race. Kid, what relationship do you have with Consort Yu and Xiaji? Umo Juzan's face sank. Long Yu didn't expect that Concubine Yu and Chang Zhixiao would be fooled by him. It seemed that Concubine Yu and Chang Zhixiao were truly supreme experts of the human race. Their reputations had spread far and wide. Originally, Long Yu was just spouting nonsense to buy time. Since the other party had heard of Consort Yu and Xiaji, it was even easier for him to make a fool of himself. Consort Yu is my master, one of Xiaji's disciples. Zhuobanyan is my fiancé. What do you think? Long Yu said indifferently. He didn't even blink his eyes. It was as though he was telling the truth. As Xiaji's disciple, Zhuobanyan's name had spread far and wide. Even though Umo Juzan hadn't heard of her before, one of the Black Scale Demon tribe's sovereign secret realm experts had heard of her before. Xiaji does have a disciple called Zhuobanyan. The sovereign secret realm expert's expression changed slightly. This kid's identity is quite precious. Moreover, this matter is related to that crazy lady. If we really kill him, things will get troublesome. Umo Juzan fell into deep thought. In fact, not to mention the Black Scale Demon tribe's experts, even Qingfeng, Holy Emperor, and the others behind Long Yu were dumbfounded by Long Yu's words. Long Yu was already Consort Yu's disciple? Moreover, he already had a fiancé? They had never heard of such a thing before. In the next moment, Long Yu smiled and said to Umo Juzan, "Oh right, Umo Juzan, if you let me go today, I have a gift for you. Do you know what this is?" Long Yu took out a black stone from his robe. It was one of the 3 black stones left behind by the Jiyo Dragon Emperor. The first 2 were absorbed by Long Yu, and this was the last one. From the black stone, a strong power of creation spread out, and it was extremely attractive. Qingfeng's eyes widened when he saw it. If he were to absorb this thing, he would be able to advance from a 3-star emperor to a 4-star emperor. Even to experts in the sovereign secret realm, this black stone was extremely tempting. After all, it was a treasure left behind by the Jiyo Dragon Emperor. Looking at the black stone, Umo Juzan's eyes widened. This is a divine armament devil stone. It was obvious that Umo Juzan recognized the black stone. It was called the divine armament devil stone, and it was extremely precious. It caused Umo Juzan to lose his composure. That's right, this is the divine armament devil stone. To show my sincerity, I will give it to you first. Long Yu smiled and nodded. He was about to throw the divine armament devil stone when he stopped and asked, "If I can take out the divine armament devil stone, do you believe that my master is Consort Yu?" "Of course I believe you." Umo Juzan laughed. He couldn't be bothered with Long Yu anymore. Since he had the divine armament devil stone, so what if he let Long Yu go? After all, it wasn't that they had to kill him. Only Qingfeng, who had swallowed the Black Qilin race's holy fruit, was someone they had to kill. Then catch. Long Yu grinned and threw the divine armament devil stone towards Umo Juzan. Not only Umo Juzan, but the rest of the Black Qilin race, including Qing Feng and the rest, all had their eyes on the divine armament Devil Stone. At this time, Long Yu finally made his move. "All of you, come in." Long Yu bellowed out and used the Nine Hells seal. He directly released the world force of the world of Nine Hells and enveloped the people around him. In just a single moment, Qing Feng, the Saint Emperor, Sunset Dance, and so on were all sucked into the world of Nine Hells. Then, a huge black stone tablet was taken out from the Nine Underworlds realm and was thrown towards Uemo Juzin by Long Yu. Uemo Juzin had been paying attention to the divine armament Devil Stone. He did not expect Long Yu to suddenly attack. The Nine Underworlds prison tablet flew out from the Nine Underworlds realm and smashed towards Uemo Juzin. At that time, Uemo Ju-san was too lazy to care about the divine armament demon stone. He could feel the terrifying aura from the Nine Underworld prison tablet, as well as its terrifying aura. He did not dare to be careless. It was a kind of pressure on the spiritual level. Absolute Imperial Demon San knew that this huge stone tablet definitely had a great origin, but he didn't know what the hell it was. "Get out of my way! Triple Demon Cannons!" Uemo Juzin yelled. The shadow attribute divine runes burst out from his body and formed 3 black light pillars that hit the Nine Underworlds prison tablet. These 3 pitch-black beams of light smashed onto the Nine Hell tablet and instantly caused the Nine Hell tablet's forward momentum to stop for a moment. After that, an extremely terrifying force erupted from the Nine Hell tablet and instantly spread out. "This guy dares to attack the Nine Underworlds prison tablet. He's courting death." Chapter 1073. Long Yu did not know what kind of power would erupt from the Nine Underworld prison tablet when it was attacked, but he knew that it was definitely not something fun. Originally, he only wanted to use the Nine Underworld prison tablet to stun Juemo-san like how he did to the Bone Race's royal family, and then take the opportunity to escape. He did not expect Juemo-san to attack the Nine Underworld prison tablet as if he was looking for death. When Long Yu sensed that Supreme Imperial Missouri-san was about to attack the Nine Underworld prison tablet, he immediately turned around and fled. After traversing through the void several times, he finally touched the spatial barrier that the Black Qilin Demon clan had set up beforehand. Path of the Nine Underworld. The Path of the Nine Underworlds was Long Yu's 7th divine ability, and it was also the last divine ability to appear. Naturally, its effects were extraordinary. It actually pierced through the spatial barrier and created a path of the Nine Underworlds, allowing Long Yu to escape from this sealed space. Without any hesitation, Long Yu escaped from the sealed space. Then, he heard a series of terrifying explosions coming from behind him. The power that erupted from the Nine Underworld prison tablet directly spread to the entire sealed space, enveloping the entire spherical space in a dense aura. Long Yu did not dare to look back. If he did, he would see that the spatial barrier was already filled with the power of the Nine Underworld divine characters. Many experts of the Black Scale Beast race wanted to leave the area, but they were blocked by the spatial barrier. They could not escape like Long Yu. Under the corrosion of the endless power of the Nine Underworld divine characters, the powerful demonic cultivators of the Black Scale Beast race, including several sovereign secret realm demonic cultivators, lost their vitality. More than 100 experts of the Black Scale Beast race, including Juemo-san, died. In the end, even the spatial barrier was shattered by the Nine Underworld divine characters. Fortunately, after the spatial barrier was shattered, the power of the Nine Underworld prison tablet did not continue to spread, which made Long Yu heave a sigh of relief. Who would have thought that the spatial barrier that the Black Scale Monstrous clan used to prevent Qing Feng from escaping would become their graveyard? If not for the spatial barrier, the Black Scale Monstrous clan wouldn't have been wiped out. Long Yu stood still in the distance and turned around. He was rather moved by this scene. He didn't expect such a situation. Originally, He thought that it would be good if he could escape, but now, he had killed all of UMO Absolute Sans group. However, his current situation wasn't good either. This was because the area where the 9 Hell Prison Tablet was located was still filled with the violent energy of the 9 Hell Divine characters, and Long Yu didn't dare to approach it at all. If he couldn't get close, he wouldn't be able to take the 9 Hell Tablet. This was a very troublesome matter. Of course, it was impossible for Long Yu to throw away the 9 Hell Tablet. Therefore, he could only wait for the power of the 9 Hell Divine characters to calm down before putting the 9 Hell Tablet into the 9 Hell Realm. Fortunately, the power of UMO Absolute Sans attack on the 9 Hell Tablet wasn't very strong. Otherwise, the power of the 9 Hell Tablet would definitely be stronger, and I wouldn't be able to escape. Long Yu was a little glad that the current situation was the best. It was just that it was a little troublesome to deal with the aftermath. I wonder if the Black Scale Monstrous Clan only sent this many people? With a thought, Long Yu called out Qing Feng and Sage Emperor from the 9 Hell Realm. In the void, Qing Feng and Sage Emperor appeared beside Long Yu. As soon as they appeared, they were shocked by the power of the 9 Hell Divine characters that emitted a dense aura. That area seemed to be filled with the smell of death, and there was a hint of the aura of the Black Scale Monstrous Clan. It was hard to imagine how such a terrifying power could burst out. This was a method that even a great ruler might not be able to use, right? Brother Mountain Ghost, what's going on? Qing Feng was taken aback. You're smart. You didn't resist when I put you into my little world. Otherwise, I'm afraid you would have died together with UMO Absolute San and the others. Long Yu said to Qing Feng with a smile. You're the one who did it? Qing Feng looked at the void that was shrouded by the darkness of the 9 Hell Divine characters and was shocked. UMO Absolute San is dead? Does that mean that the group of experts from the Black Scale Monstrous Clan are all dead? It's me. Do you remember the stone that I used to attract UMO Absolute San's attention? It was impossible for Long Yu to tell him about the 9 Hell Tablet. He could only push the blame to the Divine Armament and Demon Stone. After all, not many people knew about it. Brother, are you talking about the Divine Armament and Demon Stone? Qing Feng thought for a while and said, That's right. I don't know what it is either. I only know that it's a very precious item. However, UMO Absolute San wanted to attack the stone and caused the Divine Armament and Demon Stone to explode. That's why it's like this. Long Yu said with a hint of helplessness. On the other hand, the Saint Emperor was a bit confused as he listened to Long Yu's nonsense. The Saint Emperor knew that Long Yu had the 9 Hell Tablet. Or rather, the 5 Emperors of Shen Wu world all knew about it. However, the Saint Emperor would not expose Long Yu at a time like this. The Saint Emperor knew that such a terrifying situation was definitely not caused by the Divine Armament and Demon Stone. It could only be the 9 Hell Tablet. An existence like the 9 Hell Tablet was not suitable for others to know about, even if Qing Feng seemed to be a good person. Haha, impressive, impressive. Qing Feng was a straightforward person. He did not doubt the authenticity of Long Yu's words and laughed out loud. I can't believe that UMO Absolute San wanted to seal us off, but he brought so many people from the Black Scale Monstrous Clan to die in his own spatial barrier. But very quickly, he remembered Ruo Kai Meng, who was killed by UMO Absolute San, and his expression turned gloomy. Unfortunately, even though I managed to escape Ruo Kai Meng, it seemed that Qing Feng had become somewhat silent. Now is not the time to talk about this. Long Yu interrupted Qing Feng's gloominess and asked, Brother Qing Feng, do you know if all the people from the Black Scale Monstrous Clan who were chasing after you are here? Is there anyone else chasing after you? I don't think so. Qing Feng shook his head. UMO Absolute San is a very strong existence in the Black Scale Monstrous Clan. He is a higher ruler. With him leading the group, it should be easy for the Black Scale Monstrous Clan to capture me. I didn't expect to meet you, Brother Mountain Ghost. Higher ruler? It was Long Yu's first time hearing this term, so he was curious. Brother, don't you know that the ruler's secret realm is divided into 4 levels: lower ruler, middle ruler, upper ruler, and great ruler? Qing Feng was surprised. I have never heard of it. So the ruler's secret realm is divided into 4 levels. Long Yu came to a sudden realization. He nodded, then asked, "What level is above the great ruler?" Brother Qing Feng should know about it. Above the great ruler is the demigod realm. Qing Feng nodded and smiled bitterly. However, the demigod realm is too rare. There are only 7 demigod realm experts in the entire human race and demon race. Those who can step into the great ruler realm can be said to be standing at the peak. Does the demigod realm mean that they are close to the level of gods? Long Yu's expression changed slightly. Yes, but it is uncertain whether there are gods in this world. Gods are just rumors after all. Seemingly Qing Feng shook his head and said. Even so, Long Yu was almost certain that there were gods in this world. He just didn't know where they were and why they didn't appear in front of the world. If gods didn't exist, then what kind of power could the Jiryo Dragon Emperor, who had reached the peak of the demigod realm, be killed by? Lower ruler, middle ruler, upper ruler, and great ruler were the 4 levels of the ruler's secret realm. As for the demigod realm, Long Yu wouldn't think too much about it for now. As for the ruler's secret realm, Long Yu felt that as long as he calmed down and cultivated, it wouldn't be difficult to step into the ruler's secret realm. After all, he had inherited the Jiryo Dragon Emperor's 9 Serenities realm. With the foundation of understanding the power of creation, it wouldn't be too difficult for him to transform his inner world into a small world. Since the pursuers of the Black Scale Demon clan are gone, we can only wait here, right? Long Yu thought for a moment and frowned. He asked Qing Feng, "Right, Brother Qing Feng, where are the reinforcements from your white feather beast race? Any news?" "I can feel that they're not far away. They should be able to find me soon based on the marks I left behind," Qing Feng said with a nod. He couldn't help but sound a little sad. After all, Ruo Kai Meng was dead. That girl was his childhood friend, and he had always treated her like a younger sister. Although what Ruo Kai Meng did before her death was very disappointing, he didn't want her to die just like that. But now that Kai Meng's death was a fact, Qing Feng could only face it. Since that's the case, let's go our separate ways. Brother Qing Feng, you and your friends from the white feather beast race should meet up with your clansmen as soon as possible. Hearing this, Long Yu immediately became somewhat nervous. He then said to Qing Feng, "Oh? Why? Brother Mountain Ghost, don't you want to return to the white feather beast race with us? It's all thanks to Brother Mountain Ghost that we were saved this time. If you come to the white feather beast race, we'll definitely treat you well." Qing Feng was a little surprised. "Not now. If I have the time in the future, I'll go there." Long Yu was worried about the 9 underworld's prison steel. Thus, he couldn't leave with Qing Feng, nor could he have Qing Feng wait for the people from the white feather beast race to come. Once the people from the white feather beast race came, they might be able to see something about the 9 underworld's prison steel. That might cause some trouble, and Long Yu didn't want that to happen. Then, very well. Since Brother Mountain Ghost insists, so be it. If you go to the white feather beast race in the future, just say my name, Qing Feng. It should save you a lot of trouble in the territory of the white feather beast race. Qing Feng pondered for a moment, then nodded. He was someone who knew when to advance and when to retreat. He knew that Long Yu had his own reasons for not wanting to go with him. Thus, he didn't force the issue. Chapter 1074. The Sage Emperor did not answer immediately. Instead, she looked to Long Yu and said, "Long Mountain Ghost, are you going to the White Feather Monstrous clan?" The Sage Emperor naturally wanted to know what her bloodline was like. However, she did not want to return with Qing Feng alone. She wanted to return with Long Yu. Long Yu was able to tell what the Sage Emperor was thinking. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, Senior Sage Emperor. You should return with Brother Qingfeng first. There's nowhere I can go in the outer world. For the time being, the White Feather Monstrous Clan is the safest place. I'm only staying here to take care of some other matters. Once I'm done with them, I'll return to the White Feather Monstrous Clan." A look of joy appeared on the Sage Emperor's beautiful face. "That's great. I'll go with you. There's no hurry." Like Qingfeng immediately revealed a disappointed look. He was looking forward to the Sage Emperor returning with him. After all, he was very fond of the Sage Emperor's aura. However, since the Sage Emperor wanted to stay with Long Yu, he could not force her. "In that case, Brother Mountain Ghost, I'll return with the people of our White Feather Monstrous Clan first. Once you're done with the matters here, you must come to the White Feather Monstrous Clan." Like Qingfeng said to Long Yu enthusiastically, "You could be said to have saved our lives this time around. Without you, I would have been killed by Absolute Mo-san and the others already." Don't worry. However, how am I supposed to find you?" asked Long Yu with a nod. "When you reach the Monstrous Clan's territory, you only need to ask Chime-Chi Galaxy about the White Feather Monstrous Clan's territory." Like Qingfeng said with a smile. "All right." Long Yu nodded. Chime-Chi Galaxy was a very vast place. For example, the 9 Underworld Galaxy, the Lushan Galaxy, and so on. Various human clans resided there. As for Chime-Chi Galaxy, it was also home to various monstrous clans. The White Feather Monstrous Clan was only one of the many races in Chime-Chi Galaxy. Long Yu did not ask like Qingfeng why he had swallowed the Black Scale Monstrous Clan's sacred fruit. After all, it had nothing to do with him, and it was pointless to ask. Then, Long Yu released the other 4 monster cultivators of the White Feather Monster Clan from the Netherworld realm. The 4 demon cultivators were surprised that Absolute Demon Sovereign San had died. They said that he was lucky to have such a thing happen. They looked at the dense 9 nether divine runes in the distance and sighed. That divine armament demonic stone was really terrifying. However, Long Yu could only remain silent. That power had erupted from the 9 underworld prison steel. Unfortunately, he could not tell the people from the White Feather Monstrous Clan about it. Soon, Qingfeng and Long Yu bade their farewells. Due to the fact that the people from the White Feather Monstrous Clan were about to find them, it would not be convenient for them to stay for too long. Thus, they turned around and left. Before leaving, Qingfeng told Long Yu the route to Resonating Celestial River and gave him 10,000 monster coins. Monster coins were the currency used in the territory of the monster race. 10,000 monster coins could only be used as the travel fee to Resonating Celestial River. However, since Qingfeng did not have many monster coins with him, he could only give him 10,000 monster coins first, in case Long Yu did not have any monster coins when he reached the territory of the monster race. Long Yu did not refuse. Otherwise, if he did not have any monster coins, he would have to find something to sell, which would be troublesome. After Qingfeng left, only Sage Emperor and Long Yu were left. "Long Yu, I almost let it slip. You only told him that you're called Mountain Ghost, right?" Sage Emperor patted his chest with some lingering fear. "That's right. If I meet him again in Resonating Celestial River, I can tell him my real name," Long Yu said with a smile. Sage Emperor nodded. Suddenly, he thought of something and asked curiously, "By the way, Long Yu, is what you just said to that absolute demon governing San true? That is, you've already acknowledged Consort Yu as your master, and you're engaged to that Zwabanyan." "Of course it's false." Long Yu waved his hand. This kind of thing was only used to fool absolute demon governing San. That Qingfeng, Sage Emperor, had a strange look on his face. Long Yu thought about it and suddenly felt that it was a little troublesome. He forgot to explain to Qingfeng that it was just nonsense. If Qingfeng's big mouth went back to Resonating Celestial River and spread it, The situation would be very bad. Forget about Consort Yu. Long Yu said that he was her disciple. Presumably, Consort Yu would not blame him if she knew. But what about Zhuo Banyan? This, I can only hope that Qing Feng will not talk nonsense, but in my opinion, with his character, it seems a little dangerous. Long Yu was very worried about it. The relationship between the human clan and the demon clan was very good. Both sides cooperated in many areas, especially in dealing with foreign enemies. Both sides were on the same side. Therefore, the news between the human clan and the demon clan was definitely more interconnected. If Qing Feng said those words in the beast race's territory, it was inevitable that Summer of Darkness, Zhuo Banyan, and the others would hear it. That would be troublesome. Besides, even if Qing Feng did not mention it, the 4 white-winged beast cultivators who were with Qing Feng had also heard it. If the 4 beast cultivators were to spread the news, Qing Feng would not be able to stop them, let alone Long Yu. Luckily, they still don't know your name as Long Yu, they only know you as Mountain Ghost. Sage Emperor said with a smile, feeling rather helpless about it. That won't affect anything. With Summer of Darkness and Senior Consort Yu's cultivation, it shouldn't be hard for them to deduce that Mountain Ghost is Long Yu. I've already used that name in Xin Wu world before, Long Yu sighed. But there was nothing he could do now, and there might not even be any trouble. Thinking too much about it now was just an unnecessary worry. He asked Sage Emperor, Senior Sage Emperor, do you want to return to Xin Wu world to continue cultivating? In Xin Wu world, there were parallel barriers, as well as the 9 underworld heavenly stairs, both of which were shortcuts for cultivation. But if he were to stay in the Star River ruins of Beyond Heaven world, there wouldn't be any conditions for cultivation. Heaven and earth spirit energy, the power of creation, there was nothing here, only nothingness. If you don't have any secrets that are inconvenient for me to know, I would like to stay outside. Sage Emperor giggled, looked up at the silent ancient ruins of the void. This place was the Heaven Beyond world, the origin of all small worlds. In the Heaven Beyond world, humans were born, beasts were born, and only after reaching the ruler's secret realm did the small worlds come into existence. That was how the 9 underworld realm came into being. Sage Emperor couldn't help but think about Xin Wu world. How did she end up being sealed there? Could it be Geo Dragon Emperor's doing? If that's the case, then what exactly is her identity? Long Yu, have you never been curious about my background? Sage Emperor asked, a bit lonely. Of course I'm curious, but if it's inconvenient for you to tell me, there's no point in me asking you, Long Yu smiled. It's not that it's inconvenient for me to tell you, it's that I don't even know. Just like I told Qing Feng before, when I woke up, I was in a palace in Xin Wu world. That palace was already in ruins, and I was sealed inside. When I woke up, I didn't know anything. It was only after I left the underground world that I saw everything in Xin Wu world, and became one of the 5 emperors. However, since 300 years ago, no matter how much I cultivate, I can't increase my cultivation anymore. Sage Emperor was very troubled by this. You'll know the answer to that when we get to the White Feather Beastkin clan. Long Yu nodded. Her cultivation couldn't increase for 300 years, of course Sage Emperor was troubled. If it was Long Yu, she probably wouldn't have been able to take it anymore. The two of them chatted softly in the Star River ancient ruins. Not far away, the power of the 9 underworlds' divine characters from the 9 underworlds monument was slowly dissipating. From the looks of it, it would take at least a month for it to dissipate. Luckily, there were very few people in the Star River ancient ruins. However, Long Yu was more worried about the remnants of the bone race that had temporarily disappeared. The remnants of the bone race were hiding in the Star River ancient ruins. Once Qing Feng and the others returned to the Beastkin territory, they would definitely report the existence of the remnants of the bone race to the Beastkin territory. The Beastkin would definitely send many experts here. If the other party arrived within a month, Long Yu would most likely encounter some trouble. Of course, there was no point in thinking too much about it. He could only take it one step at a time. Not to mention, the remnants of the bone race might make a move soon. After all, the remnants of the bone race had already been exposed. From the perspective of their race's survival, they wouldn't just sit and wait for death. As soon as Long Yu thought of this, he suddenly felt that something was wrong with the atmosphere. He immediately used the Eye of Shadow. With the Eye of Shadow and balanced control, he probed the situation within a radius of 10,000 miles. The result of his probing caused him to jump in fright. At some unknown time, a large group of Bone Race clansmen had appeared in the nearby void. These Bone Race clansmen had surrounded Long Yu and the Saint Emperor from all directions without any blind spots. If Long Yu hadn't deliberately probed, he wouldn't have discovered this situation. The concealment methods of the remnants of the Bone Race were really too strong. Even if he took the initiative to investigate, he could only discover the remnant members of the Bone Race in the Divine Ability Secret Realm, as well as some 1-star and 2-star monarchs of the Bone Race. The remnant members of the Bone Race of the higher realms were difficult for him to discover if they hid themselves. He did not know what kind of concealment methods these remnant members of the Bone Race possessed to be so powerful. However, Long Yu wasn't anxious because he found that although these remnants of the Bone Race had surrounded him, they didn't have much hostility. There was no killing intent at all. This made Long Yu realize that these remnants of the Bone Race might have other purposes, and they didn't want to kill him. We've been surrounded. Sage Emperor also discovered that the situation was not right at this time. She looked around and said in a low voice, "That's right. Don't be nervous. These remnants of the Bone Race don't seem to have any malicious intent. They're completely different from before. Even if they want to attack us, I can let Shi Yenwu and the others come out and set up the 9 underworlds soaring dragon formation." Chapter 1075. Long Yu and the Saint Emperor were both on high alert. They were constantly on guard against any possible attacks from the other party. However, more and more Bone Race clansmen appeared around them. When there were thousands of them, it was obvious that they had surrounded them. However, none of them showed any hostility towards Long Yu and the Holy Emperor. Finally, as more and more of them gathered, a royal Bone Race clansman at the level of a 4-star emperor walked out of the shadows and approached Long Yu. He seemed to be trying to communicate with Long Yu from a distance. Long Yu felt a strange mental fluctuation, but Long Yu couldn't understand what the other was trying to say. At this time, Void Dragonblade's little void sent a divine thought to Long Yu. "I can understand what he's trying to say. He communicates through mental fluctuations. This kind of communication is very difficult for humans and demon races to understand. Humans and demon races can communicate through words and divine thoughts, but they can't use mental fluctuations." Then what is this royal Bone Race clansman trying to say? Long Yu was interested. "He's saying that the Bone Race is facing a true extinction crisis and wants us to protect them. As long as we agree to protect them, they will guide us to a good place." Little Void sent a divine thought. The Bone Race extinction crisis? With a thought, Long Yu knew what the other party was thinking. These Bone Race clansmen had just revealed the news that the Demon Race experts would come to attack them. Therefore, they had no choice but to ask Long Yu to protect them. Even though Long Yu had killed the royal leader of the Bone Race, they had no choice but to seek protection from Long Yu. This was related to the survival of the entire Bone Race. Ever since the Bone Clan was exterminated by the Human Clan and the Demon Clan, there were still many surviving clans. However, these clans are all dying out day by day. Now, only their last Bone Clan is left, and there are only 300,000 of them left. Little Void continued to convey the message that the royal Bone Race clansmen had expressed. This time, they took the risk to move out, but in the end, they failed to kill the person, and the news was leaked, so they could only seek our protection. Initially, they wanted to kill Qingfeng and the other four, but the 5 of them met up with the sovereign secret realm demonic beast cultivators that came to rescue them. The bone race didn't have enough strength, so they didn't dare to make a move. It's almost certain that the news would leak out. Since the bone race royal family had said all this, it could be seen that he had some sincerity. Of course, this was a calamity that the other side was facing, so of course, he had to show some sincerity. Long Yu listened as he narrowed his eyes, relaying the information to the Saint Emperor beside him. At the same time, Long Yu thought that the bone race was really ruthless. They wanted to kill Qingfeng and the other 4. If Qingfeng and the other 4 hadn't been taken away by the White Feather Beast clan's elders, they would have died in the hands of the bone race. In that case, when facing Long Yu, these bone race experts would definitely not have the attitude of asking for protection like they did now. Instead, they would directly besiege him. After all, there were still more than 300,000 bone race experts left. If they besieged and killed Long Yu, even if they had to expend a lot of energy, they would be able to exhaust Long Yu to death. No matter how great the price was, they had to bear it, because once Long Yu escaped, the news of their bone race's existence would also be leaked, and it would lead to the extermination of their entire clan. Fortunately, Qingfeng and the other 4 weren't killed by the bone race. They were taken away by the White Feather Beast clan's elders. Under such circumstances, the bone race could only seek protection from Long Yu. If Long Yu was willing to shelter them in his small world, the bone race could continue to exist. Otherwise, it could be said that the bone race had truly disappeared from this world. Little Su, tell him that I don't believe him. Long Yu transmitted his divine thought to Little Su. He really didn't believe him. After all, the bone race was a foreign race. Moreover, he had just killed a 5-star Emperor-level bone race's royal family member. It was inevitable that they would want to take revenge. Little Su transmitted his divine thought. Then, Long Yu saw that the 5-star Emperor-level bone race's royal family members, 500 bones, were all intertwined. They continued to transmit divine thought to him. He said that you are a smart person, and you definitely know that what he said is true. What you need is only the benefits that they can provide. Long Yu, I also feel that he is right. Right now, they are indeed facing the calamity of extermination. If you do not protect them, they will definitely be surrounded and annihilated by the demon race. Moreover, they will not have any place to escape. Little Su transmitted his divine thought. Of course, Long Yu understood this. Long Yu nodded and said to Little Su, then ask him what benefits he can give us. Long Yu knew that he didn't have any other choice. If he didn't protect these bone race's members, he wouldn't be able to resist the 300,000 bone race's members if they risked their lives. Even if the strongest among them was a 5-star Emperor-level bone race. Therefore, if the other party could give them good benefits, it wouldn't be a problem for Long Yu to protect them. Towards the bone race, Long Yu didn't have any enmity. Of course, he also knew that these foreign races weren't anything good. Right now, they needed his help, but one day, when they grew up, they definitely wouldn't be polite to him. However, if Long Yu agreed to protect them, they would all stay in the 9 Serenities realm. They would be completely under Long Yu's control. Even if they were great sovereigns, they wouldn't be a match for Long Yu. As long as they entered the 9 Serenities realm, Long Yu would be able to control them. In such a situation, if the bone race wasn't really desperate, they wouldn't be willing. It could be seen that the bone race was indeed facing great difficulties. He said, first, he can take us to the last hidden source of divine runes in the ancient ruins of the galaxy. It contains the power of the Nightwalker divine rune. It is because they have comprehended this divine rune that the bone race can move so stealthily. Second, he will provide us with some human race and monster race martial skills, pill recipes, and so on. The bone race has collected many powerful martial skills and pill recipes from the human race and monster race in the past. They are all ancient pill recipes and martial skills. However, the bone race can't cultivate them, so these ancient books are stored in their collection pavilions. Third, the bone race doesn't have any cultivation resources, including treasures containing world energy and the power of creation. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fallen to such a state. Therefore, he needs us to provide some world energy for the healthy growth of the bone race's juniors. Hearing this, Long Yu squinted his eyes. The third condition isn't for us, is it? There isn't much world energy in the 9 nether realm. I used it all to build the 9 nether heaven stairs and the parallel barrier. However, they only have 300,000 of them, so it shouldn't be a problem to open up a place for them and provide them with some world energy. The entire Shen Wu world had over 100 billion cultivators, cultivating at least 200 times the normal speed on the 9 nether heaven stairs would consume an astronomical amount of world energy. This was the accumulation of the 9 nether realm for millions of years, and it would all be consumed within a year. Therefore, 300,000 more bone race wasn't really a problem. The key was that the other party had to offer attractive enough conditions. The second condition the other party mentioned was to have the ancient pill recipes and martial skills of the human race and monster race. This was something that Long Yu was very interested in. Pill recipes and martial skills were the foundation of a large force. If Long Yu could have some pill recipes and martial skills that surpassed those of normal human race forces, it would be a great asset for him. Tell him to give us some examples and see if there are any martial skills or pill recipes. Long Yu transmitted to Little Void. Soon, Long Yu saw the more than 500 bones of the bone race royal family members stretch out. Then, more than a dozen jade slips that exuded an ancient aura appeared in front of him. Of the dozen or so jade slips, 7 contain ancient ingredients, including the pill formula for the rainbow egg. The rest contain archean martial techniques, some of which are even unbounded martial techniques. Long Yu nodded. Of the dozen or so jade slips, there are 7 that contain ancient ingredients, including the pill formula for the rainbow egg. The rest contain archean martial techniques, and even unbounded ones. At this point, Little Void couldn't help but be excited. The unbounded level martial skill was a terrifying existence that even the Dragon Emperor of the 9 Nether Abyss had only learned one move. This martial skill was definitely at the peak of the Beyond Heaven world. If anyone else had said that there were unbounded level martial skills in the Jade Slips, Long Yu would have thought that they were joking. But now that the Bone Race had such a martial skill, it was quite believable. After all, the Bone Race was a powerful race that had waged war against the human race and the demon race for a long time in ancient times. It was normal for them to have some secret manuals of the human race. These things were useless to the Bone Race, but they were very useful to Long Yu. Also, I happen to have 4 rainbow stone eggs refining method. They were obtained from the remains of the small worlds of the Sufferers. They were prepared by the 9 Abyss Dragon Emperor to let the Sufferers refine elixirs for him. When Long Yu thought of this, he knew that he couldn't refuse the Bone Race royal family members' offer. If he could get these resources, it would definitely be a great boost to his strength. At the same time, Long Yu thought about the ancient jade slip he had obtained from the realm of 9 serenities, which recorded the cultivation method of the 4 aspects killing prison. Was it an unbounded level martial skill? But Long Yu quickly rejected this idea. First of all, Jiuyo Dragon Emperor shouldn't have failed to cultivate an unbounded level martial skill. Second, the Death Envoy had said that the Jiuyo Dragon Emperor's unbounded level martial skill had reached the transformative level. It couldn't be the 4 aspects killing prison. This made Long Yu even more curious about the 4 aspects killing prison. What kind of move was it? Of course, now was not the time to think about this. Tell him that I've agreed to protect them. But they better listen to me. Otherwise, I have ways to deal with them. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.